Alright, hey guys, we got a war today. It is what I think is going to be like the first real war on NA, so let's see how it goes. Um, I think immediate thoughts with it are I, I don't really know where we stand compared to this company at all. Both companies are like relatively old coming back to the game, and I don't know where they stand in regards to each other at this point in time. Uh, I think that on paper we're like pretty good, and we used to be really good. So let's see how it goes, but there's a lot less of the people than there used to be. So the question is, do I go for Vortex here? Do I go for Trip? I think I want to keep Smite because I have it in my flail. Vortex is just nice because it's a CC break. Trip is nice because it annoys people. I'm gonna go for the carry potential role on tank, I think, for this fork, because I think that, like, I don't know what tank they have, but I guarantee I'm gonna get more value than them, so I'm gonna go for, like, a more offensive, like, kind of disruptor-oriented role, I think. So probably something like this. Slightly different tree than what I normally go, but similar idea. These are fine. I just gotta make sure I got enough oak flesh. Oak flesh is really nice with flail because it also increases your total amount of armor. So it's like kind of a hidden trick. I've got 10 things with oak flesh right now, which I think is enough for a war. And everything else I think checks out gear-wise. Not this. Like, this is a 0 perk piece, but it has Constitution. So that's fine. Void Darkblade is very nice. So yeah, I think we're, like, okay enough for a tank war today. Kind of get into it. This is an Eben scale defense versus CWA. I think we used to call them chicken mans back in the day. I did not have time to do a warm-up OPR, so we're going in cold, see how that goes. So after this, I'm gonna start getting into builds. Some people have like kind of pointed out some mistakes I made with some of them, so I'm gonna edit those, and then we're gonna do like 1 or 2 more, and then I'm gonna start adding them to the site. And hopefully that kind of helps with making stuff a little bit easier to be accessed. Buddy of mine coming back, looking at tanking. Is there any resources or build guides you have that I can send them? I haven't done one for tank yet because tank is not as popular of a role as some of the other classes, but I'm gonna try to get to that today. Oh, okay, I'm back. Uh, Tank is like relatively flexible right now, and it depends on like what mode you're playing, but high level for tank is you want to be on Sword and Shield holding right click during crashes, and then not during crashes. You're a little bit more flexible of a role. They've changed the fundamentals in terms of like how some of this stuff works, but you are still juggling shield stamina usage with your health bar, which is the exact same way it used to work before. The game has a bug right now where it just crashes half the time you accept a queue. So that's what just happened right now. Don't worry about it too much. It will be fixed in an upcoming patch in theory, but we'll see. The funny part about the crashes is AGS is like reported like, hey, we have seen an increase in the amount of crashes, but we're not going to confirm nor deny that our newest patch like resulted in the game like crashing. And the funny part is it's completely obvious to me that it's like on AGS's server's end too, because if this was a local problem, like people are like, oh, verify your game files and all this stuff. If it was a verify game files problem, this wouldn't happen. This would happen super consistently, but it doesn't happen every single time. It's a little bit random, which suggests that it's a server-side issue. It's like if you're missing certain files which people are checking from localization, then this problem would happen every single time you try to do this. So it's a little silly. But the last couple wars that we've had have been stomps, right? This one should be the other way around, where I expect it to be very competitive. So it should be fun. I'm gonna hop into Discords now, and I need to get TeamSpeak set up and give you guys access to comms.
Thank you.
So the way that the really competitive wars work is we have a main comm, which we do large, like, for everyone to talk to, or everyone, things that will affect everyone kind of comms, and then we have a, what we call micro comms, or like small group comms.
Connected. Channel switched. Microphone muted.
And the reason why it's broken up that way is so that we can talk together with people in our group, but we don't necessarily like overwhelm people with a large amount of information that's being given out all at the same time. So I'm gonna be probably muting the main comms and then unmuting the small comms, so it's a little bit less confusing for you guys, but just so you know, there are gonna be a lot of people talking at the same time, and like, as a word player, it's like your job to be able to filter out the information and act on the stuff that's like really necessary for you to do well.
2 more minutes, quick. 2 more minutes.
Stream at least 1 or 2 people stream their POVs.
So there's kind of a lot involved with this, but
Don't all do it at once.
you get used to it. It's pretty straightforward after a certain period of time.
Yeah, if you need TeamSpeak, it's in the war sign up.
Now, I was asked to go flail, like as a secondary flail, but typically I would go ice gauntlet. I think ice gauntlet's my preferred thing with tank right now, but flail is relatively competitive. It is
Right,
especially competitive with Void Darkplate, because there's a nice synergy with flail and Void Darkplate, where flail gives you bonus health according to your armor, and Void Darkplate makes your armor, basically gives you more armor, right? But typically, in order to take advantage of that, you need a shield with sturdy fortification, and I do not have that yet. This is the best shield I have, and it has slash shield ward, so it's not perfect. It's okay. This is very, very budget tankier, but is effective enough to get the job done, I think. I expect this war to get to fort, not be a spawn camp. This is going to be a close one, Patty.
User joined your channel. User joined your channel.
Willie's really going with the spam. I just post once or twice. Willie's going consistent here. So there is one tank bug.
Are we good to run this? I think we're right. I see a lot of people in here.
Yo, could I borrow like 2 people to come near the dummy for a second? I want to test if Bludge works on multiple people.
Yeah, I'm gonna run this plan. Here we go. Everyone, listen up. All right. So, off rip. Top left is 3. Top right is 5. Bot left is 4.
I need
bot
one more
right
person to
is
come to
6,
dummy.
Okay. Weak side quad DPS. We got Negi and Zuko. Okay. This is off rip 7. Mighty, I'm counting on you to relay information to me at A. If anything, if you're getting +1, maybe we'll send weak side quad DPS over there. I think a lot of the quad DPS kind of know what they're doing in regards to that, but I'm going to call a lot of this shit on the fly based on what split they're going to do. Okay. 10. All right. I know.
No one
who's
comes
the
here.
caller
I
at
can't
10?
confirm this Bludge thing.
Whoever the caller is in 10, I just need good comms from you just on the split, just to get an idea of when we're going to split and what's going on there too. And strong quad DPS, maybe we'll go over there if necessary. All right?
I want
Now,
to see if I can give it to multiple people.
on the split. Okay, and also real quick, I'm going to run through this. 10 is wide fight, 9 is going to be inner lane, inner wide, right, inner lane, and then, 8 is inner lane, and 9 is the mid lane. All right?
Microphone muted.
Yeah, I'm
pretty
not
much
gonna be able
it.
to test this
Play it how
before
you
the
gotta
war, so
play
I'm just
it.
not gonna go for it.
If they're giving you a wide fight, take it. If not, it is what it is. This is going to be the split. It's going to be 3, 5, 4, and 7 are going to stay, along with the weak side
User
quad
joined your
DPS. So
channel.
Negi and Zuko are going to stay at B. Everyone else is going C. It's very simple. Okay? If anything, I'm going to call over 5 if we need extra help.
Why am I
at
in
C.
combat? It's because he's
Remember,
hitting the
C is
dummy.
still the prio. If you wiped at B
it's a
and you know
bug.
B is lost, just fucking throw it and come to C. But I need also comms
So
and
many
relaying
bugs, man.
information at all times of what's going on and where I
So
need to
many
send people.
bugs.
All right?
If I documented every bug in this game, I'd
This is
probably have a
default
list
C.
of over
It's literally
300.
The same thing we've done at B. It's the same thing. Strong quads play there. Weak quads play there. Now, something I want to mention too: healers. I need step from healers. All right. I want point team playing top of
My
point,
chat on the YouTube
and
side
healers you
bricked.
have to help with step to fight tick if
Oh, it
their
is.
healers are stepping. All right. If they are overloading
Oh, now I can see the
weak
chat.
side,
I couldn't see the
if they're
chat for a bit.
overloading bond,
Cool.
just let it be. I want to control
Yo.
what we can control.
Need a build guide
Okay,
for
and
Fire
we're
Staff
gonna
Musket?
have
Oh, hell no,
just only
Zenberg.
the 2. We're
For
gonna
me, for a
plus
long time
2 with the
YouTube
weak
follower, I
quad
didn't
DPS,
like
plus
asking
2
for
in the
anything, but I'm
bond
super
fight,
stuck in my own
and I
build. I
wanna
like to
maintain
ask for a
control
top of the
on
head
a strong
suggestion,
side
but I
of
also don't want to
offense.
interrupt what you're doing.
All right, we don't know what they're gonna run,
You could
but I want to
ask,
maintain control
like, before
strong
this
side.
war,
And
but in like
healers,
2 minutes,
if
I'm
they're
gonna have to
flooding
focus
in
out.
road, you just move over.
Otherwise, I
to
can talk about it
top,
after the
and that's
war.
it. And you step
It's
from
the great
top.
gear
Easy.
score bug still happening. It is still
Definitely
happening.
say
I'm not
something if
abusing it
bottom's
this
being
war,
plus,
but it is still
whatever that
happening.
kill
Yeah,
squad is,
just so we have an
we know.
idea of what's going on.
It's
and
less
then,
severe
you know,
than it used to be,
weak
but it's
side
still
quad DPS,
prevalent.
I mean, weak side 3 and 4, you know, help it out if you can see it. All right, inside 4 anchors are going to be 4 and 5. 7 and 8 on the back gate. Right now, at the start of this war, I need group 7 and group 8 to
Alright, I
figure
need to
out
mute
who's
Discord
going to get the repair parts
and
in there. So figure that out right now.
mute TeamSpeak for a second, and I'll unmute after. But you guys heard some of the pre-plan. It's just really loud right now, and you guys are gonna hear the weird noise in the background because my mic's muted. Wanting to build a chase down, fire, bow, heals, and medium. Okay, everything just feels terrible though. Tried wing boots, tried SNS great axe, but feels like I'm lacking damage since I'm running upheaval, backstab, and shield bash. Upheaval should be pretty good damage. SNS great axe has okay damage. You typically need to run that kind of build in light in order to maximize damage, which is a little bit awkward, but very possible to work with. The build that like works similar to the one that you're talking about right now, that is like something that people are trying in terms of a meta build, is going sword and shield with hatchet. And the people are going light with like 100 con and putting the rest in strength and dex, and it is a basically almost a one-shot build. Like it can, if you close distance, you can almost one-tap somebody. It is ridiculously high DPS. An idea is you close distance with Leaping Strike, you can combo into Shield Rush, hit them with an Upheaval if you're close enough, otherwise you just have Hatchet. If you have Keen Berserk on your Hatchet, it's just like tons of damage output. Just stick with that, use Raging Torrent, do a lot of damage, use also distance to create distance when you need to. So that's another variant, but it's like, it's something that you're kind of doing right now. Any thoughts on Musket PvP build? Musket's relatively good with Rapier right now. It's also useful in like smaller scale with other more greedy offhands, but mostly in large scale it's best in Rapier or in Void Gauntlet. So who's attacking? Chicken Mans. They call themselves CWA, but they own these 3 territories. And they're going for their 4th because they're greedy bitches. I don't really know why. Yeah, so it is an actual war. Any thoughts on SNS Spear? Good, but I think it's more of a utility role now. It's not a DPS role anymore. It used to be a DPS and a utility role before this patch. I believe Spear is just going to turn into a utility role. So let's do stat stuff. Honing. Don't need the max tier honing. The desert. And food. Rest should be okay. 450 con isn't ideal. You want to be at 500, but it's fine. You need to hit 50 focus. 100 strength is an okay threshold to have. I still don't have a rune glass in here yet because I haven't been able to upgrade my butcher, but I think they fixed that, like, as of the patch that's coming out next. So that should help with that a bit. We're gonna find the best fire staff PvP build or mage builds for season 6 is coming back to the game since launch. They don't exist. That's something I'm currently acting on, like, building. There are some sites that have builds, but they are not up to date. So I'm currently working on building out a bunch of builds that are up to date for people so that they can actually have something to, like, reference. Currently, I have these, like, in a kind of a partial form. They're on my New World Buddy. And then I'm transferring these to the New World Builds website. Just to have, like, a central repository for these. So far, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 builds. And they aren't perfect, but they're at least a starting point. And then I'm working on adding more to this. So I'm trying to add 2 to 3 a day, and then I need to put these actually on a website so that you guys can reference them, like, more easily. Beaker, is there a change in healer builds? The big change is you want to run a Savior Light Helm that you can get from the Sandworm raid, which is very difficult to do right now, but that's just a quick trick. Alright. I think I'm going to focus up for the war here, guys, and then I'll be back after. Alright, I'm gonna unmute the team speak and then we're gonna get into this.
Where you been, old guy?
Hey, man.
Microphone activated.
Bro's playing Soul Mask, bro.
I've been
Living it
out
up.
about.
Good morning, fellow Raiders.
Came out last year, bro. It's time to wake up.
Nah,
Bro,
I've
this
been,
is the best fucking point team,
I've been
man. I love it.
working and doing home
Well, let's get it. Blue stone form, I'm bissed out, I am ready to rock.
Wait, I need that still.
I've
But
got
I
some
it.
green opals in my gear.
Dude, I was gonna say, I have like all tier 2 gems in my gear.
It ain't looking too hot.
I've got gear. Is it good gear? No. Is it gear? Yes.
I've seen you take rage,
Oh?
you'll be alright.
Yeah,
Boxer with the hookup?
I do have strike protection and slash shield ward though, so surely this just goes well.
Don't let Bowser know I gave you that, Rebellious.
I won't.
Work, dog.
Oh, wait. Oh, shit.
Dog, dog.
Listen, KD, give me a quick test on respawn calls,
Lee
quick.
Blessed me with a goodie bag a second ago.
You know, on second thought, I am probably going Dust this for. I just realized I have like 0 elemental resistance. Oh boy.
Leaf,
Nah, you-
not leaf.
you got it.
Talk.
Yo, test me.
That's gonna hurt, man. Yeah, I hear you.
We're trying to adjust. Leo, are you gonna be like talking louder? Let me
Bro,
turn
you
down a
fucking
little
know me,
bit,
dog.
yeah.
Turn
I
me
haven't
down,
turned
bro.
way down, bro.
Me
You
too,
know
I'm
me,
about to
bro.
right now. I just turned work up a little bit, but like I don't know.
grabbing parts off rip.
Listen, group 7 and group 8 are grabbing parts off rip. Figure out who's gonna do it, and group 7 grabs from left side, group 8 grab from right side.
I blooped up. My butthole's clenched.
Sam?
Oh,
Ben
just
Andrews,
as a
okay?
just for you bruisers, like, if you guys think you're in trouble, you need to let me know soon. The top left like interface is slower than normal, so
Yeah.
since I can't see you and the top left doesn't update very fast, you're double fucked.
Yeah, healing's,
So, like-
healing's just dog shit, so
What the
good luck.
fuck in, boys?
Yeah, he's not wrong.
If they have healers stepping on the point, I need my other flail to focus on getting healers off the point along with 1 bruiser and the other 2 bruisers to work together.
Group 10, I need
Alright,
those
let's
comms off
dance.
rip to see how
Yep.
you're splitting.
I thought we were in Eden. We're in Evansville.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were in Eden.
This map's pretty good as long as you're not in Bamboo
FPS,
Forest.
let's go fucking forward, bro.
Yeah, Bamboo is a
Not
little
lot.
funny.
I don't see a lot.
Looks like they're doing a 3
Not a
man
lot
there.
splitting
Uh,
C.
Max spotted.
They're doing like a
There's some in the camps
looks
down.
They're going A, they're holding it off, they're gonna do some weird like 30, 15, 15 split.
Oh, my game crashed. My game crashed.
My game.
going to see
Really? Your game crashed?
Yeah,
I can't remember. I can't
Oh,
remember.
never mind. There's a big split. It's like 30. It's like 30. It's like 25, 30, 25, 30.
I don't have permission to remove Luke in the army. Somebody else has to.
Jump guy probably.
Jump.
We're
Yeah.
giving my game crash.
I can do
You'll be able to load back in.
Throw crash with the trucks.
really well.
Yeah, drag.
Yeah,
drag
can you
Millie
pull
drag
me
Millie
out? Somebody pull me out my game.
Drag dump with Millie out.
10,
The lights. Wait, the lights.
5, 4,
Rotating to C, 1 and 2.
1. Respawns now.
The lights rooted.
Let me know when that can recoil.
I'm on my way to see. I'm 50%
10 seconds.
Where are we going?
We're like 10 feet behind buses.
C is like
Yeah.
90%.
We might be
4,
too good.
3, 2, 1. Respawns
You
now.
guys set up the point, you guys set up the point.
On the edge, but it's gone, man. That's a terrible opener.
Should've just sent C right away.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
We should've just sent C. Like, over to, like,
5,
maybe back in.
4,
I'm back in.
One.
My game crashed. Pull me out. Where's the
Yeah, I did.
Do you want me to come to you?
No, pull me out
Wait.
again.
I see socks. I'm on Hawks.
Do we have Carl? I need ST.
Pull me out
10
again. Where?
seconds.
Okay, yeah,
I got full combo.
5,
Shielding bottom right of point.
2, 1. Respawns
Rotating to their
now.
back line. I think left side safe. Left side safe.
I'm just dead.
Take a stop right on butters. Yeah, their road is pretty safe. Their road is safe. Their road is pretty safe.
But I'm playing top down. I'm looking mid right.
That's the butters again.
5, 4, 3,
My son's never went out there.
2,
Take us on butters.
1.
Got him on the side, got him on the
Respawns
side.
now.
Look pretty low, mid left. They're all armor broken mid
I'm
left.
coming back right now.
Get ready,
Hey,
guys. Top right's free. Get ready.
Bottom left is heavy.
Playing
Bottom
top
left
right.
is heavy.
Yeah, I'm playing the center of the road
10
right now.
seconds.
Listen, club swarming bot left. Get ready to go in on this.
Take a top right.
I'm in.
Butters.
I'm cocked. I'm
3,
Take it on
2,
butters.
I'm still dead.
Cast
1.
butters. That's
Respawns
0.6%
now.
here. Casting work.
I'm gonna
2.
full combo
1.
on that.
Casting work.
Okay, work.
I'm front and top.
My game's like hard freezing.
Their road is
10
safe.
seconds.
I got full combo when I get back at the
Yo, I need point team to step to the top point and get the healers off the point.
Yeah, I'm like top mid right now. Luca.
They have healers on top of point. We need to focus these guys off. Don't worry about the clump too much. Just focus on getting people off the point. Slow the tick.
Yeah, I'm stepping top right.
Back.
I might be dead.
10 seconds.
Casting micro.
Yep, should be good.
Take it on micro. Top right.
5, 4,
Casting butters.
3, 2,
Wait.
1. Respawns now.
Points at 90%.
Heavy left. Nice.
Yeah, playing top left. I got full combo.
It's honestly it's just gone. This is like just not. Maybe go left.
5, 4, 3,
We have some control top
2,
lane, so
1. Respawns now.
Yep. You got shield top center, the top right.
A little bit.
take it on butters.
10
I got
seconds.
nothing for you.
Your shield is middle point if you find me.
5, 4,
We need to hit here, like right after this, or we lose it.
respawns now.
They have healer stepping.
Casting micro.
10 seconds.
It's like basically an all-in. Gone.
They got it.
My game is like hard freezing.
4,
Yeah, I know. My
3, 2,
Yeah, it does not feel
1.
good to play right now.
Like I'm
Respawns
getting
now.
stuck in animation.
I have the scale for you.
I feel like I'm playing slow-mo.
Don't play redrag you or no?
No.
Oh, yeah, by the way, nobody can hear you.
Five,
Nobody can hear you. You're talking to yourself.
4, 3,
Like,
2,
you're not shouting to the entire
one.
team speak. You're just talking to yourself in the
Respawns now.
comms. So you might have
Yeah,
to fix that,
yeah,
please.
that's
Oh, is that what it was?
Yep, that's what it is.
Okay, makes sense. All right, let's lock in. 25 minute
Okay,
workout.
guys, get ready.
Yep,
Punish for not
winnable.
setting- It's punished for not setting this up for clear.
Yeah, we should be testing this.
5,
Collar the whole time.
4,
Leo's got to figure out a way to whisper
three,
to everybody with
two,
team speak. I'm not sure how
1.
to do that, but he's got
Respawns now.
until the gates go down. So
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Just tell them the type of
yeah, yes. Respawn colors. Yes, we can hear you now. Okay, technical difficulty solved. Let's hope portal.
So it's very chaotic right now. We aren't really talking about grabbing stuff together. We need to focus on getting people off the point. The other stuff should come through IGL.
We have a shot caller now. So lay down.
Yeah,
10 seconds.
No decision, that's not
blocking out. I'm a wall behind.
We got right there.
5,
Rebellious.
4, 3, 2, 1. Respawns now.
yeah. Pearl, could you watch if they come behind here?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Okay.
Back gates are still up, and the A gates are going down.
20
They have a
seconds.
musket in the back here. I'm by the way on this gate, so heads up.
Yeah, just let me know if you have pressure and you can't heal.
Oh,
Whatever,
fuck,
yeah.
we actually have a second bruiser microphone?
10
Hunters.
seconds.
Clapping. Be careful, no bridge. It's very rough.
5,
Group on bruiser,
4,
okay.
Take us on ping bottom trim.
2, 1. Respawns now.
They're starting to walk up a little bit.
Seagate's starting to get in. Seagate guy that got in.
20
Dog.
seconds.
A-gate's still holding for now.
That's
They're all in
Bowser.
back E. They're all in back E. Where's the gate?
Yo, yeah, they're in echo free. They in echo free.
Take it on ping right
They're
away.
both canceling it.
10 seconds.
Focus here has to be in preventing healers from playing the game.
5, 4,
They have healer rotating top left. They have healer sitting on the left dirt.
respawns now.
Looks like we're winning A a little bit.
Yep, they have fast tick here. They have fast tick. We need to have groups start to bring it in. Fast tick. We need to have people bring it in.
Take us on button, just not right point.
We're good. If you're an IGVG, you should be on the point. Everyone should be on the point in terms of point team right now. Look at bottom right. Look at bottom right. You have shield up, shield up, shield up.
5, 4,
All right, flails out. You guys should have damage buff.
1. Respawns now.
Come left now. Come left. Come left. Swing the left. Swing the left. Let's hit this. Let's hit this. Dog, 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 dog.
You look at bottom left, bottom left, flat. Hotel. Butchers now. Take us on micro.
All right, now we're back to kind of a default here. We focus on getting people off the point. We worry about tick. There's people sunk top left a little bit.
River can die top.
Yeah, River, you die.
4,
You have a crash heading top.
2, 1. Respawns now.
Take it top right.
Landing top is probably safe.
They're crashing.
It's only 25% spawn.
Careful, Cleo. We lost Cleo.
20.
Fast tick, fast tick. They have healers stepping around the point. Got you worked.
Take us on ping.
10 seconds.
Nice kills on top left. Let's swing that to bottom right. Swing it to bottom right.
Beat choke is free to heal. Beat choke is free to
4,
heal. We need
3, 2, 1.
get out, so be careful.
Respawns now.
We need pressure on healers while we're going for a hit here. Fast tick. We have to all in. We have to all in. We have to all in right now or it's gone.
Nope, we lost.
Yeah, it's just late.
GG's.
Oh.
I played for 30 seconds of the war.
Yeah.
There was 4 people who DC'd at the beginning.
We didn't have a shot caller for points, and we just got diffed for it. Lucky.
Yeah. Pretty
I
much.
guess we should have prepped our comms a bit more. Oh well.
User
all good.
disconnected from your
Yeah,
channel.
happens. No worries.
No. Actually testing the stuff for once. Just looked like a space thing.
The what?
Like we didn't have space, but you can't really analyze it too much because there's so many things that are wrong.
I mean, we just didn't have a shot caller, so people were never crashing, so they were just getting crashed on without counter crashing.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, like,
Yeah.
I don't necessarily
I mean,
think
that's
that
just
was
it,
it.
right?
It's
Like-
also we had like 6 people DC.
Yep.
That doesn't help, but
It doesn't
they
help.
were there for it.
Shake it off.
User disconnected from
Yeah.
your channel.
I mean, people are constantly going to DC. The game's, you know, buggy as it is, so... you
For
just
what
have to
it's
take it
worth,
straight.
every single time we crash, we got kills, which is really good. It's just
Yeah, that's true. That's true. We had a good crash.
Bunters, were you freezing? Like, I'm like getting animation locked. Like, when I dodge, I like full freeze, but like, I know my character's
User joined your
dodging because
channel.
I see the
Yeah,
stand
that's-
moving.
Yes, that's just the servers.
Yeah,
like, that's
yeah,
server
I'm not
side.
even sure. I went to go
It's-
click my data when I opened my fucking
User
map
disconnected
somehow or
from
something
your
like that, and
channel.
like froze and whatnot. I'm
If-
not sure what happened, but
If you
yeah.
dodge twice in a row, your character does a slide on the second dodge because the server can't process the fact that you're double dodging.
Yeah,
So,
like I would
like, the
be,
tick
I
rate of
would
the- I
like
feel like the tick rate of the
freeze
server
and
is
wouldn't know
decreased.
if I was
User
moving or
disconnected
not, so
from
I
your
just like
channel.
dodge again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you
I need to
slide
get
now.
used to it.
User joined
Yeah.
your
I
channel.
ate a
minute loading
screen in that war, bro.
The load screen was retarded for me. How do I set up the whisper key again? Because I had these settings preset. I just want to turn it off to make it fucking auto pick up all the time.
Microphone muted.
I was shocked. What happened there was just a classic AGS thing at the beginning of the war, but I don't think we did prep work going into that, and that was the bad part. So the AGS part of that was kind of silly, was 5 people DC'd within the first minute, and our IGO did not have global comms to talk to people, which is why we lost C immediately, because no one actually rotated off, so then our entire point team rotated off, but it was too late. And then in Fort, it just didn't really recover at all. Unfortunate. That is a war where after that I want to do an OPR just to make sure I have my bearing set in my build and make sure that this is like actually functioning correctly, but it should be functioning fine. Because that was like really awkward. But every time we crash we got kills, so and that's what kind of matters for the most part from my perspective. So I didn't even get to really test the waters of the build or really play the game. There was actually a spot where they were taking B, where if I had an upgraded stone form, I could have gone infinite and self-sustained indefinitely, which would have been really funny, but I don't have an upgraded stone form, and I don't have Ankh, and both of those, like, really help that to happen. So that's something I'm, like, looking at in terms of gear upgrades, but nothing else, I think, was really determinate. Is that an actual person calling respawns? Yeah, it's a respawn person actually calling them. The reason why you have to have a person calling respawns is that they aren't on a preset timer, and they shift every time a point is captured. So, like, there's a timer that counts down from, like, 20 to 0, right? And then, like, if there's a point captured, that gets reset to 0, but everyone that was already dead has the old timer. So then you have to keep track of the new timer constantly, so all the automated bot systems don't actually work. So that's one reason why everyone that's like somewhat competitive uses an actual person to keep track of respawns. I used to do that in-game while playing, but it's like really difficult to do it while you're playing. You could also keep track of it by just looking at the bodies on the ground when they disappears, like when respawns happen, but if people aren't dead, that isn't a thing. Yeah, we got destroyed, but it was like a lot of AGS like kind of fucked us too. It's still like they outplayed us like overall, but like that was like a really fucked war from an AGS point of view. Like being down 5 people instantly, but then the part that like we should have set up is like our IGL didn't even have comms to side point, so it's like you can't solve that with that at all. I got a slash conditioning refresh gravel 690 piece for 4K. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I mean, you just have to go what you can for fresh right now. Like, you're not going to get bis. You're lucky to get 2 perk gear. Like, I'm running 1 perk gauntlet still. Slow calls. The calls are really slow. Honestly, that was, like, pretty horrible IGLing. Like, I feel like I should be IGLing at that point, but I don't want to be IGLing. Also, I feel like everyone was complaining about the OPR queues being too slow, and then they're just not slow at all. Like, maybe this is just a me thing, but, like, OPR is, like, not a slow queue. Like, this is, like, fast. And people, like, they're adjusting the algorithm to make the queues faster. It's like, it's 1.5 minutes for a queue. I've not had a queue that was over 1 minute long. And this is, like, with the better queue, and they added in patch notes and said they're going to be adjusting that. But I'm going to be upset if they change how the healer stuff works. Because right now, it's like, I actually get heals. I do not want to go back to not being healed at all. Because that was so annoying. I'm hoping they're just changing the MMR, not the heals. I mean, maybe. I mean, that would be a good balance for now. One nice thing about the server, my company holds Eden Grove. We're yellow, Prim went yellow. We're keeping Eden Grove out of their hands. Oh, yeah, because no one can take it from you, so they can't take it back. Where's your personal line between gear score versus perks, i.e. 675 3 perk vis versus 710 single perk? I always think lower gear score is better. Pretty much down to, like, 625. Like, I'd rather have a 625 3 perk piece than the 725 0 perk piece. Like, I have a very different line than most people. Any SNS DPS? I'm not gonna do SNS DPS for this OPR. I want to do like something a little bit more support oriented, just so I can make sure that this build like feels the way I think it will feel. Because that war was just not like enough to like gauge how this feels. I want to make sure that this like actually works how I think it works. But there's also some stuff that I want to test. Thought I had the other weapon out. I did not have the other weapon out. So I should be getting healed right now, but I'm just not, which is... Are you kidding me? Do I have 2 healers on my team? Why do I have 2 healers on my team? Oh, there's no way they did that. Wait, neither one of them's healing me and I have 2 healers on my team, but they never made it so you have to have 1 healer per group? They just made it so you had to have 4 healers on the same team? Oh my god. What is AGS doing? It's not that hard. I should never have 2 healers on my group. You have 4 groups per OPR. You have 4 healers. Put 1 healer in each group. How is that complicated? Also, where are the healers? So I'm getting run down by like an army right now. And I'm not getting healed once. Like, that doesn't qualify as healer. If you're just running away the whole time. They might have queued together. That should not be a thing either. That's so stupid. It's not stupid to let people play with their friends. It is stupid. You need to have 1 healer per group. That's what the requirement should be. Because healer is a role that you need to have someone in your group to actually heal. Like, you can't heal people outside of your group very well with the current way that things are. I am like on a very, very different boat when it comes to MMR though. I don't even think like you should be able to let people group queue if you have MMR for the most part in games. Like, I think that actually makes it worse. Because the instant you allow group queuing, like the whole system kind of gets skewed. And I know people like want to play with their friends, but it kind of messes it up. Like, it is different now because there's no ranked mode. If there was a ranked mode, I'd be like really against it. Without a ranked mode, I'm like kind of against it. War is on the screen still. Thank you, I forgot. I'm also taking less damage now that since I took my gear off and put it back on, which is wonderful. I'm gonna have to play as a Disruptor as a tank, which is really annoying. It's not something you really ever want to do. Alright, that should be enough for this point. We should be able to go to mid now. Wait, Mikro, does your crosshair disappear when you shift or swap weapon? No. I have the custom crosshair on though right now. I don't think there's much logic behind the matchmaking. It's a very, very bare bones system, but even if it's a bare bones, like if it's implemented right, it doesn't matter because the algorithm's so well defined that like you don't really need to do too much to it, if that makes sense. Like, mathematicians have already written the algorithm, it's already been used by like multiple games. You don't really need a rocket scientist to modify the algorithm for your individual game. Just use what's already been given. It'd be cool if, like, we stepped in the point. Like, that'd be really neat. Instead of just, like, letting me take all the space and then just dying. Good to see that the classic OPRs of ranged players being useless still remain. What is the Disruptor rule? Not killing but forcing them to run? Yeah, basically you can't... In New World at a high level, you're not actually able to ever kill someone in a 1v1 if there's a healer involved. Like, you can't 1v1 a healer if the healer is moderately good at the game. You can't, like, win that kind of matchup at all. So people invented this class called Disruptor, which will literally just prevent people from playing their role. So if you prevent a healer from healing, they become a lot less useful. That's like kind of the idea behind it. So you have someone go on the healer, that's usually the Disruptor, and then you have another person go on the DPS. And then the DPS doesn't get healed, and the DPS can die. Or the healer, if they don't get peeled for, could also die in certain circumstances. Good to see that the tank build is doing the tank things. That's how it should kind of feel. It's an invincible build. And it gives people buffs if they play with it. Like, this guy should never die here. I can give him an aura too, and it will make it so that it's like physically impossible for him to die. That's a slow damage buff to allies, and they get the kill. So this is like a pure aura class, like the way I'm playing it right now. If we want to go offensive, we have to go for flail. If we want to be more defensive, then we go for SNS. Stoneform should be wearing out here. It should be a free trip. Stun themselves out. I can then remove their cooldowns with flail. Insta-kill. So the way I'm playing it there, where I'm not letting them play the game, and they can't control their character, that is the role of a Disruptor. My main role is tank. This can function as a Disruptor, given certain circumstances, though. Could you show me your items? Yeah. It's a lot of defensive stuff. The best item here is Butcher. Gives really, really fast ult charge. Stone Form's really good defensively. Purifying Heart's a must-have, and Teardrop is very, very good for tanks. But that's a 625 piece, and as we were talking about earlier, it's like a 625 bis for some things, and it's like, yes, 100% is bis. So we're having the same problem we had earlier. No one wants to step in. Luckily we have a healer that actually is doing good things. So I'm applying weakens to these guys. I'm applying slows so that they can't get as much value with their builds, and then I'm denying damage with the aura, right? So the idea here is I basically just buff my team, and then let the team do the carrying when they do a lot more damage and take a lot less damage. Sometimes they don't play with the aura though, and it doesn't work out that way, but you can see like this guy here has been like super, super tanky. Still dies, but took a while to die. The dip, unfortunately. Looks like they kind of got to our backline. Never got ST there. That's why you want to... This is why I argue you want to heal in your group, because if you have a good healer, then you get a single target there, you get healed back up to full, and you don't have to worry about it. But OPR healers are not good healers, typically. Like, the guy I was playing with like Carl, he's like a top tier healer. Like, he's a top 30 healer in the game, probably. Actually, probably higher than that. Probably top 20. Considering he was able to play on both NA and EU at one point. But at a high level. I feel like they nerfed the distance of that combo of going for heavy and the auto. I also forgot to take off gear. I need to do that. Flying a slow, flying a weekend. Need to find a... We need to start sacred hopping a bit more. Sacred hopping is the idea is you just bounce between friendly sacreds so that you just constantly are getting healed. Another way to play this is to distract, so I can pull these guys away. And then that way, we have more time when I respawn to get back online. So I pull 4 guys there, I respawn at this base in 5 seconds, and buys my team time. So it's like another way to play OPR. I don't like playing OPR that way, it's very boring. This is like a different way to win, basically. It's just like a very weird way to win. I don't think I have time to do the gear swap thing here. I have to just go into this fight, even though I'm going to take increased crit damage. I want to protect backline, I think, for the most part here. I think that's where we're struggling. I think our front line's actually doing pretty well. So I'm going to shield the backline, which is not something you typically do as a tank, but it's a rule I'm going to break here because I think we need it. Doesn't look like it matters too much so far. You have to keep in mind this is a very DPS favored patch right now because of all the crit damage bugs. So everyone's doing like 30% more damage than they probably should. So if I'm able to like effectively get value out of tank on this patch, like you're gonna be like set in like every other patch too. It should be a free trip. Can we do body blocking here? Yeah. You can body block enemies, so prevent them from walking. I just slow on this person. I'm trying to force them into open space here. So if I have ranged players, right, they could hit them. But they don't want to play the close corner because then I can hit them. So I'm forcing them into a spot where if my range is able to hit that person, they die. Do heals crit in this game? They don't crit, but there's conditionals that make heals heal for significantly more. Basically, every single conditional that causes heals to heal for significantly more is based off of HP. So if a target is below 50% HP, heals can heal up to like 40 times more or something like that. Like there's a life staff passive. I think it's this one. Yeah, when you heal someone below 50% life staff ability cooldowns reduced. I think there's a few passives that are based off healing people below 50%. Like this one for Divine's Embrace is based off of that. Okay, so this doesn't matter anymore. You can still get a kill on a healer, but it don't matter. See, this is a healer that's playing the game properly. You could tell the difference because they're like fighting in their sacred, and that's what I'm talking about, like a disruptor. Like you can't necessarily kill the healer in that case, but you can annoy them to the point where they can't play the game. Like if healers are playing properly, they could basically just face check damage and they don't actually have to run away from stuff. Right, I'm just not gonna be able to get on my mount. This is a gripe I have about New World that I prefer about Albion. Is you're actually able to get on your mount in Albion no matter what combat condition you're in. In New World, it's like very conditional. I think that leads to a worse experience in New World. Oh wow, they changed that cover a lot. There's an invisible wall there. That's annoying. And I never took my gear off and put it back on, so I'm taking a bunch of increased crit damage, so everything's hitting me like a truck. We had one healer leave. Thoughts on bruisers after the grit change? Just a Warhammer main. It's no longer a Great Axe Warhammer, it's Warhammer Great Axe. Same class though. Also, healer and sacred equals sacred, probably not in their team. I'm gonna be real. Yeah, I mean that's the goal of a disruptor, right? If you put the sacred on the healer's not putting the sacred on the team. But some people will put like a sacred on themselves as a healer and then they'll just single target the team. Like there's a balance to that. But what you shouldn't be doing as a healer is just like running away mindlessly, just screaming like help, help, and like just dying. Like it doesn't work that way. Like you're just gonna die. Like people have better chase than your mobility on a healer. Like there's like 20 great swords in this OPR. Like every single one of those great swords can kill a healer like pretty easily. The thing that usually messes great swords up is like bruisers, but we don't have those. I don't have cleanse pot. So like imagine if I had like one other person playing with me, right? And I was making him this tanky along with myself. That's the idea behind this class. Also, I don't know why it can be slowed with grit now. That shouldn't be a thing, in my opinion. But that's like 10-15 people, it takes like 30 seconds. And that's without good gear. I could be getting ult charged like roughly twice as fast as I am right now. And I could be healing every time I press that ult button. So I think this build's still functioning as I think it would work. It's just poor circumstances before, and I forgot to take off my gear and put it back on again. So we might not be playing the game again. So that bug that we keep talking about. It's really annoying to play around. There we go. Alright, now I can load back into the game. And I lost my respawn because it took so long. These guys should be dead passively. They're suffering from a pretty similar problem where they just don't have healers. It also doesn't help that there's legacy players playing against fresh players in terms of the resistances. So like fresh just get chunked. How many friends do I have? Like 2? Did they nerf this spot too? Oh, I guess they did. How many invisible walls did they add to OPR? Did they nerf this spot? No. He thought he was trapping me this whole time. What if the mount trick still works? I bet it does. How's it going, Peta? Alright, we definitely lost this OPR. Not even close. I want to get the Flail VG build online. Like, I think that would be a fun build to start playing in OPRs. Yeah, the empty gear set is a tech that works here. How musket and wars now at the auto aim? Not used. Very rarely used. Strike, start. Oh, that's pretty good. Slash conditioning, invig, refreshing. I'd probably wear that. Yeah, it's better than this. Even if the other one has, like, better perks, like, it's still better. Like I have what, hasted vigor, freedom, refreshing, or I can take refreshing, invig / conditioning. Like this is just better. Do you guys want to look at news stuff, or or should I do a little market stuff first and then build out this character? Would be the question. Like you can look at the news / update that AGS is putting out, but oh, that's a really nice shield. Enchanted Ward Sturdy. That's better than my current shield. Yeah, this is good. PvP track this. And it looks kind of cool. I'm curious how my buy order stuff is going. I saw I bought a lot of stuff though already. Okay, yeah, a lot of them are expiring. A few are filling out. It still feels like the economy on Fresh is like kind of slow. Like people don't really go to the TP a lot and take advantage of that. First time I've seen you in OPR, you're a tanky boy. Yeah. I mean, this is my PvP tank build, so it's just a tanky setup. And it's not bissed out. If it was bissed out, I'd be able to go infinite in a couple of these spots, but it's whatever. Any chance you could see a greatsword hammer or a greatsword great axe as a bruiser? No, I don't think so. Greatsword's an incredibly greedy weapon that I don't think should be used very often. Is PvP tanking fun, or you just hold block? There's more involved to it, but the meme is that you just hold block. There's a lot of like conditionals involved with it, and that's the fun part, is like juggling all the conditionals. Like the idea of tank is like you're holding block, right? But in order to hold block, you need to have stamina. In order to have stamina, you need to have health. But in order to have health, you could also use stamina for health. If you're trading stamina for health, then you could use abilities to gen your stamina, which also buffs your health, while you're all holding block at the same time. And then there's other times where it's like, okay, I don't want to hold block here necessarily. I want to be helping these other people offensively because that value could get me more value than holding block, and that's where I go like flail or something like that. And like that's like a base tree for just like flail, but each tank thing has a variant. The part where tank gets boring is when people just lock in one build and they just play it the entire time. Like a lot of people just play SNS and they play IG, but where tank gets really interesting is I've played SNS with flail, I've played SNS with Warhammer, I've played it with Greatsword, I've played it with Ice Gauntlet, I played it with Void Gauntlet, I played it with Hatchet before, I played it with Rapier before, I played it with Spear before. So I've had like 8 different variants of the same tank build that all have benefits and drawbacks in certain situations. So like for example in OPR, one of the most popular, or like one of the most fun builds I play is like SNS with Scorpion Sting, and it's like it functions like a disruptor, but then you're also a tank at times. So it's like or stuff like that where it's like you have hybrid builds and there's a lot of different variants depending on like what you want to do. But I think a lot of people look at tank and it's just like, oh, you're just holding right click, isn't that boring? And it's like, yes, this is the most boring part about tank, but there's like 20 more conditionals that make it more interesting. Micros, should Firestaff Abyss be light or medium? It should be usually in light if you're playing with the Firestaff more. If you're playing with the Abyss more, then it should be a medium. I think it's slightly better in light than medium, but you can run it either way. Like both those rules are very competitive. Oh wait, that was a PvP question, my bad. Oh, if you hold block at the tank, you're in a group with decent DPS, you're gonna lose aggro every time. Oh, and yeah, in PvE. In PvE, it's definitely not just hold block. Like, your goal as a tank in PvE is to hold aggro and then to do damage while not dying. In the raid, I tend to hold block more because we are squishier in the raid because everyone's lower gear score and people don't have trophies and stuff, right? And they don't have gems. So, it makes sense for the tank to be more passive, in my opinion, so other people could be more aggressive. So like there were times when I was doing the raid the other day where I would be like relatively passive so that my healers can heal other people and not focus on me. But then I would be more aggressive when the healers could focus on me and not other people, if that makes sense. So it's like a juggling of like priorities. And the same idea applies to war actually too, where usually you want to be kind of passive, but there's times where if people pump resources into you, you can get a lot of value. As a tank, I think it's generally worth pumping resources into you because you can take advantage of a lot of life staff passives really, really easily with it. And if people play around you, there's the bonuses just naturally kind of synergize. So like if your health is below 50%, heal one additional ally within 8 meters for the same amount is like a thing from the single target. So if you're looking at a tank's health bar the whole time, if tank falls below 50%, you're just boosting everyone else's healing with that. And then there's another one that can proc on top of this with another rebound from Divine's Embrace. So there's like stuff like that you can take advantage of. I love the way that you build, but I wanna do one of the must-dos of building. Only medium if X, always run right and Y to accomplish Z, etc. Yeah, I mean, I think it's easiest to see it from patterns, but you can kind of see them from the build guides that we started putting together as well, because there's a lot of patterns between these. It's like, if you're a medium player and you are medium to short range and you're looking to dodge a lot, basically just run Tembors. This is something that I wanted to do, and I probably could actually do the spiel on it right now, but there are fundamentals of builds, and that's where all these kind of concepts originate from. And that's probably worth going over. So let me open up a notepad real quick so I have a blank sheet in the background. So like in terms of New World's damage output, like this is how I think about it at all times for basically all the builds. So damage is equal to your base damage modifier, which I'll call BDM, and then this is multiplied by like rend or fortify, and then this is multiplied by empower or weaken, and then this is also multiplied by another factor hidden within the base damage modifier and a few other things, but everything's a multiple of each other, right, is the idea. So it's like if in order to maximize your damage when you're doing multiple multiples, you want all your multiples to be, if you assuming you have the equal amount of stats that you can distribute everywhere, you want all these to be the same amount. So it's like if I had 1 point that I could put into any of these, I would actually want 1/3 to go into here, 1/3 to go into here, and 1/3 to go into here, and that would boost my damage by the most. In terms of a defensive setup, which I'll do in a different color, it actually functions completely different, where it's like you want to put all your defensiveness into one possible bucket to eliminate the most stuff as possible. So for example, the cap for one of these is like 50%. So it's like, say I take my entire point and then I put it into here from a defensive standpoint. Then I lose like some value because I don't have it distributed everywhere here, but I reduced the overall potency of these other perks because I just basically made all of these half as valuable because I went all in on this one bucket. So it's like, usually for how it works in terms of PvP, and this also applies to PvE, defensively you want to max out and go all in on like one category, but in terms of a defensive standpoint, you want to spread your attributes out equally. There are some like weird caveats to this in terms of gems that affect PvP in particular, but usually when I'm building one of these builds, I'm identifying, hey, do I have, like, especially for an offensive kind of build, I identify, do I have high base damage? Do I have high empower? Which one of these do I need to put more stats into to make these kind of equal so that I can maximize my damage? And then, like, from a defensive standpoint, you're thinking of how could I utilize my gems? Because that's another factor that we like to call ABS, that will effectively reduce all the damage that's incoming to you. ABS is like a hidden factor that is just gems, conditioning, and SNS's aura that applies, and like that is like the most, and a few other like random abilities, but it's like the most powerful defensive mechanic in the game because there's no counterplay. So like gemming to 50% to all to one element's like really, really useful for a lot of mutations, for example, that are mostly focused on that one element, and there's some other things like that. Yeah, BB did get nerfed by AGS, but BB effectively got buffed because BB got nerfed by, I'd say, around 1/3 of its damage from a year ago. It's just gone. But now you hit every single pellet, right? So, like, you could think about of like 1/3 is like, if I was hitting 4 out of 6 pellets, or no, if I was hitting 6 out of 6 pellets today, that's the equivalent of hitting 4 out of 6 pellets a year ago. And you were pretty consistently hitting 6 out of 6 pellets today, so it ends up being like a net buff, I'd say, because a year ago people weren't hitting 4 out of 6 pellets on BB. It literally just comes down to how often could you hit targets in that kind of situation. That's why target lock kind of breaks the game. Like, AGS is looking at BB and they're like, you know, we'll nerf it by 5%. But, like, in reality, you're hitting more damage every single time you're doing damage, so just nerfing the damage multiple by a little bit doesn't really justify it. The real fix is to either A, adjust target lock so it isn't completely broken, or B, to nerf the damage while using target lock by a certain percentage. Both of those have not been done by AGS, so there's not really a good fix. Micro, they need to get rid of life taper and get rid of aimbot, then buff BB. Pretty simple. Yeah, if they wanted to balance it. I'm not sure if they actually want to balance BB. It feels like they don't really like to fully balance things. Like, they like to just kind of balance them enough to where people aren't complaining too much about them. BB is similar to musket, where loss on damage on paper, but there's something new that brings the damage back up. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's why BB is so strong right now. I made a theorycraft full heavy wall serenity SNS. Every piece has LA version plus slash conditioning. Just a super tanky moderate DPS was my first try at theory crafting. I have done a build like that. That's really, really fun. It's just the thing with Greatsword that you have to keep in mind is it's all about stance dancing. Like, I've done Greatsword as a tank before, but the reason why Greatsword tanks works as a tank is like a very different than what most people would think. It's actually probably a really good tank option right now in PvP, but no one's really thought about it. The main idea is Roaring Rupture is a incredible ability because it could pull people together. And it's like a really, really wide pull. So like, it's a 3-meter pull. I think it used to be a 4-meter pull. What is Great Axe's pull? Yeah, Great Axe is a 4-meter pull now, so it's worse than the Great Axe pull. It used to be a 4-meter pull, and that was like one of the things that people are like building towards. But they also did make it so that people don't have grip passively now, so it's like this pull's a little bit harder to pull off. But it's a really easy way to group people up and get like consistent value. Is it worth for a pat staff to run medium using the Azoth conductors? I think it's not a terrible idea. The consideration that you have to have there is, say I go from light to medium, right? Then effectively I take a 15% damage nerf by going from light to medium. So, and you just gain that 15% damage by running the LE conductors, right? So effectively it's like you're playing light without your artifact slot in medium. So it's like a slightly better version of just going featherweight, if that makes sense, because what featherweight does is it makes you like a pseudo medium, but actually a little bit less tanky than medium. But you keep that 15% bonus. It's like the opposite end, where it's like you keep that 15% bonus, but and then you're a little bit more tanky. So it's like a slightly better than featherweight in that certain circumstance, but usually I'd say it's better to go a different offensive artifact in light. I'm not gonna lie, the grit nerf is a huge L. Bruiser was already boring enough, now it's worse. Yeah. Imagine the bugs that would result for them trying to reduce damage only while aim lock too many steps from. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, this is the kind of the thing that a lot of the people that were playing the game kind of came to the conclusion of before with this dev team. Is like, you can't ask the dev team for too much, because every single time that they try to fix something, they're gonna bug something else. Like, without fail. Like, that's the joke, is like, a new patch for Neuro drops, and it's like, oh, what are the bugs for this patch? Like, I could probably look at the patch that's up and coming, and then I can like point out like probably 5 things that could break in that next patch. So we have patch notes actually. This is supposed to be a hotfix patch, so it shouldn't actually break stuff. It says it includes various fixes to like all parts of the plan. So this is like a questing related fix. So like, say they fix this part of the quest now does that affect anything else? Like, probably not. Like, should be an isolated instance, but there's some things on here that are a little bit sketchy. This stuff doesn't really matter. The upgrading the artifacts to 725, like that fixes that problem. It doesn't necessarily fix the problem of like being able to upgrade like other gear to 725. Like, for an AGS style fix would be like, oh yeah, He made it so you can upgrade artifacts to 725, but you can't actually upgrade any other gear now. Like, it's like silly things like that that they tend to mess up. Like stuff that should be obvious. Like this updated outpost rush matchmaking configuration to reduce queue times. What this basically means is that they reduced the requirements in order to make the queues pop faster. So they reduced the requirements, but now the quality of matches goes down and the queue is already only a minute or two. So like there's not much in these notes. Like it's basically just you can upgrade artifacts now. And OPR, they're adjusting the formula so that the queues pop faster, but that could have bigger consequences than like people would really think at first. What if they're going to reimburse coconuts for the first week? So they've done something like this similarly before, and they reimbursed people, but they reimbursed people a year later. So I would not count on it. Like the dev team is like not very good at their job, to be brutally honest. Like they're okay, but they're not very good. Let me get the modes done, I think, first. Need to turn these into some other things. You're not very good at your job. Sorry, I didn't mean that I love you. No, I've got an ego about it. I know I'm good at my job. I've got an ego about it now. I didn't used to have an ego about it. Or actually, no, I kind of did used to have an ego about it, to be honest. I definitely have an ego about it now, though. Like, openly. That's just, like, ego, confidence, like, that kind of thing. Like, to me, they're, like, one and the same. Didn't they reimburse too much for a lot of people, too? Yeah, they didn't do it properly. Like, they did it, but they didn't do it properly. Like, that should just be as simple as, like, doing a SQL query for the people that, like, they'd have this information stored in the database, right? You look at the time period between launch and a current day. Look for people who acquired a coconut. And then look at people that used their coconut. And if they used their coconut, then it likely bugged, and just give them the coconut back. Like, it's just that simple. But they just will find a way to make that more complicated. Okay, so we just unlocked quintessences, which will allow us to do the next tier of gem crafting. And this should be slightly more profitable. Does anyone know if stone cutting gear still works when, like, making the gems? Looking to play this game in a few weeks. What weapon combo would you recommend? Many recommend SNS Hatchet. What's your take or advice? I was literally going to recommend SNS Hatchet. I think SNS Hatchet's like the new up and coming thing that people haven't really realized is meta yet. And it's really good. Oh shoot, I picked the wrong bonus. I went refining. This is supposed to be my refining town. SNS Beyblaze Bis Tempest Fury. I've seen some people cook with that in OPR. It's definitely sticky. I'll give them that. I don't know if it's like necessarily Bis, but it's like very, very sticky. And sticky builds usually are very effective. Because they can always function as a disruptor, like worst case, and in best case, it's just they do a lot. I wonder if there's any smelting gear out yet. Because I kind of want some smelting gear, and I kind of want some stone cutting, I think. What's your opinion on heavy armor and 1v1s? You can't chase, but you'll live forever in most of them. There's some weapons that make that exception, and you're actually able to chase and live forever, and those weapons tend to be really, really good in heavy armor. So there is smelter's gear. But it's like hella expensive. To the point where it doesn't make sense to buy it yet. Stone cutting is usually cheaper. It's actually probably okay to buy. That's worth buying at that price. It's okay to buy. So there's 3 pieces on here that are okay to buy right now. Noteworthy, the Arcana gear doesn't increase the refining chance. There's also a refining bonus that some towns put up. Do you plan to do a video about Firestop Blunderbuss? I don't think Firestop Blunderbuss immediately, because I don't think it's like a top tier build, but it's a very effective build for what it does. Which is kind of a cop out. Like, I want to do a Firestop build, but I don't think it's like a build that I want to do like immediately, if that makes sense. Like on for the YouTube side, I do it for like the just making the build to make the build, and I do the video. Like I'm trying to do a build video a day is like kind of what I've been trying to do. And something like that. As a fire mage, what's top tier? Rapier. And I'd say the Abyss. Ice Gauntlet is up there, but I don't think it's as good as the other 2. Ice Gauntlet is never good whenever Greatsword is meta, and we're in a Greatsword meta right now. Like, it's not good for those kind of rules. Does Rapier Hatchet fare decently in OPR? Like in PvE, yes. In PvP, a little bit less so. That's still decent. Alright, let's do gems here, and then we can make some stuff. Oh wait, it's gonna make me... Okay, cool. We can hit the open next button. I wish there was an open all button. That's like one of those things where it's like, I don't really care about the animation here, but that would make my life a lot easier. If they had an open all button. Diamond, onyx, opal, those are usually the things that sell for the most. Carnelians sell for a decent amount right now too. Can't really go wrong with malachite or emeralds. They usually sell for a good amount because they're used for a lot of healer gear. But it looks like my economy is going to be slowed down by moats at this point. So I think I've been a pretty good spot then. Oh, they upgraded this. Wow. Waste all my money on this if I wanted to. Or I could put it in a buy order. I could save a lot. So I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna go back to the town that I do my selling in real quick and then sell some stuff. So now I can craft mithril jewelry. Which I don't really care about getting jewelry up too much. The main thing that's nice about this being tied to jewelry now and not stone cutting is the jewelry XP bags are like insane. Like they give a lot of like this gear for free. Guild Wars 2 has a salvage all by rarity. Yeah, you have that here too, but it's not tied to gems, unfortunately. I wonder if the smelting gear works for this. Because this, I believe, falls under stone cutting. Like, it says jewelry, but like I think in-game it's classified as stone cutting. So it seems like life motes are the main thing I need right now. Life and soul are the two most important. The others are still important, but they're a little bit less important. Gold ore, need a bunch of too. Jesus Christ, gold ore should not be this cheap. Jesus Christ. What about silver ore? Why is silver ore so expensive? Why is the market all messed up? Oh no. Because you could turn all the ore basically into gems, right? That's what I was doing, and make a bunch of money off of that. Okay, I don't think either one of those sold. Or these, so I'll just salvage them. Honestly, let's just put a moat buy orders for everything. Because it will get my jewel crafting up at the minimum, and I think I could sell them all at this point. Yeah, life moat buys. Good, good. So I need the life moats badly. And sell these two. I feel like this is also kind of cheap for these. Sell 5 of them. But those are, like, Moonstone's actually pretty good for gear. This is about what I would expect for opals. Opals are expensive. Aquamarine should be pretty cheap. Yeah, it depends on the mutation week usually. These should be somewhat expensive, but not super expensive. That looks about right for what I would expect. This should be somewhat expensive because it's used by healers. It's not though. Seems like most of the money is actually in with like getting the stones. I don't know why these ones are so expensive. They really shouldn't be. The ones that you can't sell, you just turn into powder usually. It is crazy what Onyx is going for, though. Onyx is going for a lot. I can make Onyx, I just need life motes. I'd buy this. And probably this one, too. Make some more Onyxes out of that. But I want to keep some orders here to hopefully drop the price down over time. Miko, sir, you did this. You have no one to blame but yourself. True, my bad. I'm not gonna lie, I'm like tempted to just like... buy a ton of random things. Mostly the gold right now. You need jewel crafting gear for the bonus now? That's kind of silly. I mean, that's gear is usually more expensive, isn't it? What do you even make from the smelting thing anymore? Wow, the soul essence is really sold. Wow. Freeze dirt cheap on my server. Like, the fresh start economy literally just doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know what's going on anymore. I don't think anyone else does either. What are platinum ingots used for now? They removed using them for crafting for orichalcum ingots, I think. Let's see. That's probably why the economy for everything is so messed up right now, if they aren't used for anything. Looks like just gear. This charm thing? Is this used for anything? I don't think so. Yeah, no, it's only used for gear, so yeah, it shouldn't really be that useful. Because you don't even, like, want to roll this gear anymore, because you can't really get bits from it. Like, unless you have those, like, random patterns. Like the schematics. So yeah, it's like, that's probably why gold and platinum are so cheap. Because all you can do with those now is just turn them into gems. Is it worth upgrading name to 700 considering the prices of matrixes? Probably not. I was looking at getting some of my matrix level stuff up, but it's like, it's pretty expensive. Jewel crafting I can get up to 250 pretty soon. And that unlocks the jewelry matrix, which is good. I don't know what that thing is used for. They have it there. Arcana also has a matrix, I believe. Yeah, Arcana has armor matrix, so I'm kind of getting that. I don't think smelting has anything. Yeah, smelting has nothing. It's just this threshold here is like all I want from smelting. Which I might just get real quick. If gold ore is like really this cheap, which it really is just this cheap, like it's probably just worth picking up a good amount, just using that to level. The only thing is I kind of want to empty my inventory before I do something silly like this. Because I just have a bunch of weight in here right now. Actually, I should probably sell this and this other stuff too. Think about it. Most of this I don't actually want in here anymore. So I'm trying to save weight. I mostly want Arcana in there. It is so bizarre that they basically made platinum useless. Oh, there's the first onyx to sell. This is where we start making the money. I also wanted to test a few things too today. My buy orders for life mode's going. Still active. Still the lowest. So to make sure no one's outbidding me. Like I'm only putting 500 on them right now per, because I'm like trying to like make sure I'm the cheapest person. Earth seems like it's profitable right now. I don't think anything else really is. Because you can do ambers and people are buying ambers because you need them for the raid. Because the last boss does like nature damage and people like are worried about that for some reason. Honestly, I think for the raid all you need is onyxes. Because like the last boss is super easy. The first boss is super easy and then the second boss is moderately difficult. And that second one you just want onyxes for. Actually, so yeah, Cup-Receiving Amber sold, and then I make my money back there. I should have bought more gold ore actually before walking over here. Do I have any of the buy orders for gold ore going off right now? That would be kind of cool. Eden Grove, no gold ore. Okay. The moonstone cells, okay. It's like, the gems should be profitable for a long period of time here because people are just constantly upgrading their gear. At least that's the idea I have behind it. That's like the thesis. I should need a lot of gold ore and pure solvent to get this up. Could also just like get it up with like sulfur or something like that and unlock the next cache of gems, but I also want to test the smelting goggle thing that we just talked about. Yeah, people are swapping amber gems in and out for the raid. Yeah, that's why the earth moat stuff is like profitable. The weird part is a lot of the gems are useless now because I don't think people are really going to use them for mutations. I swear I'm gonna get my Arcana up just from crafting moats and not doing anything else. Like, it's just... the moats are just profitable. No, I don't think anything else matters, really. Like, 25 life quintessences, like, I can make so much off of that. So I want to test the smelting thing that we just talked about earlier. So I'm gonna look at my smelting gear on when I go to the station and look at it off. There is another thing too, that if you're smart, you try to take this... Actually, no. Isn't there a yield bonus somewhere? I thought there was a fort that had like a yield bonus. Fast travel. PvP. Yeah, it's this one. So it's like you wait for the Weaver's Fen bonus to be yours, and then you refine is like the smart thing to do. I'm not being smart right now. How are we feeling about the update, gents? Any good YouTube video that I can watch to see the difference? I don't have a YouTube video out for it. We talked about it earlier. It looked like a very minor patch. We won't know the complete details until data mines come out, but it looked like a very, very minor patch, to be honest. Oh wait, I forgot to look at this. So it's 26% right now, right? If I remove this piece, look at this, it's still 26%. So yeah, it doesn't seem to depend at all on the smelting gear. So yeah, it might just depend on the jewel stuff. So that basically confirms that. And then the other thing I can do here too is I can make dust. So like these are not really useful, so I can make dust from them. And then I could use dust in war. Same thing with these. Like this stuff isn't really that useful. And then the higher level I get, the higher the chances to get additional items. Has anyone tested the using like a jewel crafting gear on this stuff yet? So I feel like that's probably worth it, but not 100% sure. So what do you actually do at the stone cutting table now that they removed that one thing? I know you do heart runes. Like, is this it? Is it just lodestone and rudestone and charged sand? Like, there's like nothing here. Oh, I guess you have to do scarabs here. But it's like all high level stuff. There's like no low level like reward really. How odd. Like stone cutting used to be like a relatively profitable thing, now it seems like it's kind of mid. You get 36 kills with a SNS with the Great Axe artifact? That's crazy. That's pretty good. I want to try to make some more kill-oriented builds, but I think the immediate focus for me right now is probably going to be on getting Mag Gauntlets to do some tomfoolery, and I kind of want to start doing the other raid, but I don't know if we could do that yet, because we need Firestorm. I want to do a Tempest or two. Or not Tempest. Oh, it's not that weak. I thought it was Mag Gauntlets weak. Depths is illegal gear, and CC oriented gear. That's not really, yeah, none of this is like really that good actually. Like I feel like it's just better just to queue OPR. OPR actually gives you like a lot of rewards now for some reason. Corrupted Bloodstone went up. There's a lot of stuff that it looks like you can make money off of right now. Gems is probably going to be good for me for a while, though. It's crazy how much you can make even off the T4 gems. Honestly, I'd probably sell to that buy order. Guess it's not. It probably isn't worth crafting sapphires in the future. This feels so cheap to me, but there's a guy that put 45 of them up. How much is Asthma going for? Why is Asthma going for that much? Jeez, you can make so much money off of just crafting stuff up right now. It's ridiculous. Like, one tip for making money is if you go to armor, not armor matrix, infused fragment or infused something. What's the thing called? It's like when you get rid of your gear and then you get the little patterns. Yeah, no, it is infused fragment. Like infused engineering fragments. Like if I were to buy these, it takes 2 of these to make 1 asthma, right? So if I buy this for like 20 gold, then I can make an asthma from this. And it costs me 40 gold, but it costs me some Azoth, and then I could sell the asthma for 170. Infused armor fragments are like kind of similar. Or it costs 3 of these to do it, so it's a little bit more expensive. And then there's arcane fragments, I believe, and this is like 1 or 2. It's like, this is a good way to make money. It's just like extremely tedious and boring because they never made like a sell all or craft all kind of thing for it. Seems like Soul and Life are the 2 that make the most money right now, though, so I'm just probably gonna stick to those in my buy orders. One's my buy order. There's one trick for seeing buy orders too. If you go to sell, then you can see which one's your order. So I know mine's a 73 now, and I can go here and put in a different one. They changed the what do you call it? You can upgrade stuff in CK now, right? I think. I think I can make a kind of a fun build already. I think I could do that speed, like, oriented, flail VG build. The builds aren't completely up to date. I'm still working on it. Yeah, the zoom. Like, I think they added in the upgrading. I think I saw someone would send a screenshot with that. The only reason why I didn't do it earlier is because I didn't have the gear piece for it. Requires a coconut. craft mods do I have? I don't think I have anything that insane. Yeah, no, nothing yet. Where are my doubloons? I do not see where I put my doubloons. So I have like 4,000 of them. I don't know where. And there's no search all. I need those. My biggest problem is selling gear. I have no idea what anything is worth. I mean, other people also don't know what anything is worth right now. It's the funny part too. So it's like you see really good gear for cheap, and you see really poor gear for expensive amounts. Do I have the doubloons in my inventory for some reason? No. I actually don't know where they went. Huh. It's kind of annoying. If I didn't like throw them on the ground or something like that. I kind of need those in order to interact with this thing. I can't find this anywhere. Are you able to change the random perk on a named item from doubloons? You are if it came from the doubloon fountain thing. Like the well. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do right now. Is I'm trying to get a void gauntlet from the well and then change a perk on the void gauntlet. But in order to do that, I need to find the thing to actually change that, and I don't know where it went. There they are. Mystic doubloons. So I do have majority con, which is good. Actually, I think I want majority focus when I roll this set. Why do I still have the medium artifact? That shouldn't be a thing I ever run in PvP anymore. Okay, I think that works, and then I can just RNG roll out of the well real quick for my dailies. Which are here. Then I'll pick up consumes as well. I don't think anything else really matters, that these are okay. Worthless, 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 so all of them missed today. Sometimes I give 725, so that's usually worth doing. And then I can go to Void Gauntlet on here. This is Ice Gauntlet, that's Ice Gauntlet. Got a Void Gauntlet, so it's int, but it has Keen, Penetrating the Empowered. And then I can last perk get Orb, I think, from upgrading it, and then it's like a pretty good piece. The only problem is it's int. So I guess I can look on the market and see if there's any with Orb VGs that are cheap. But I think Diminishing Orb is more valuable at this point. than Scream. That's kind of your other option. So all these are like 690. They aren't very good. This one's actually pretty good, but not exactly what I'm looking for. This one's actually very good. For what I want, like, this is actually probably worth just getting to try this build out before I spend too much. Because it has Keen, which is the other perk that's, like, pretty good for this kind of build. And it's the right stat that I want, because I wanted something with focus on it. So I'm probably just going to buy this, which is 250, and just use this to try it out in OPR before I, like, kind of full commit to the build. And just see how it plays. That's Dex. Don't really want the Dex. We do need the Hasted Vigor on this build. I think I have some other gear that I could try on as well. Where's the PvP section at newworldsbuilds.com? It's not there yet. I'm adding it this weekend. We're revamping that thing, and that's a old command. If you need a build, I put together some of them already. It's just they're stored locally, and I haven't updated it to that site yet. Yo, Micro, are the artifacts upgrades in? They said they fixed it on the patch. They said they fix it next patch. So it's like, it's not in, it shouldn't be in yet, but it should be in a second. So yeah, right now I have, what, 10 builds on here? Which isn't a lot, but it's a starting place, and then I figure I could add more as we go on. Let me do one OPR with this just to see how it like kind of feels, and then I can do like another build or two maybe today. Let's see. So I'm looking for gear, specifically jewelry. None of this looks that good compared to my current gear. Like, even this, if it's strength, I think is worth running at this point. Which feels weird. I'm mostly looking for this piece to be upgraded. That's Dex, so I don't really want that. Unimpeded Health Divine. That's actually very good. It's probably better than the current amulet I have on. That's a very good amulet. Hasted Vigor Health. A little bit worse than this current one. Freedom Health is not going to compete with that slot. Powering Toast, Refreshing. Refreshing Toast is pretty good for OPR gear. So something like this seems pretty good. I'm gonna get rid of all this other junk down here too. Don't need any of you anymore. So I will be missing like quite a significant amount of gear, but I at least can get the general feel of how this plays. Yeah. The Dex is really annoying though. It's like really bad to have Dex as a stat. Oh wait, that's from that thing. Yeah, I could take that off. Okay, cool. Extra strength is kind of annoying, but it's fine. I want to hit 350. Ideally focus. Which I don't think I'm going to be hitting. I know I can hit it, but then my con is like in the dirt. I could buy one food and then I could try it for this OPR and then that's it. That would put me at 200, which is all I need. So I guess I could do that and then I could actually try this out. This would be Smite, Vortex, and probably Trip. Barrage is also okay, Bludge is also okay. Ideally want a kite shield too, which I don't think I have done yet. And then if I go for rabbit. That's what I want for food. Ideally want a piece of scream on there. I don't think I'm gonna find it. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. You can at least see how the weekend stuff goes. I don't have Oblivion either, so this is not gonna feel that good, is it? Yeah, this is really not gonna feel that good. So I'm missing like half the perks. Should not be that much. But we do have enough to queue for an OPR, I think. And try it out. We need a kite shield too, I forgot about that. And we don't have mag gauntlets either, so it's gonna feel clumsy. A random kite shield? Do I not have a kite shield anymore? Flail with no kite shield's kind of sus. It's like significantly better with a kite shield than it is with the other kind of shield. And I don't have a kite shield anymore. Unless it's in my gear set, which it probably is. Yep, there it is. Kite shield. Okay, cool. Alright, we can do one. I do have unimpeded on too, which will be interesting. You have wrap and bow? Oh, that's rapier. Have we made any progress with the grit riots? Oh, is that what it was supposed to be with people protesting? Oh god, no, I didn't even know what that was. Yeah, no, that's gone horribly. God. This is one refreshing. This is gonna be awful. At least this is a really good amulet, honestly. Like, Divine Unimpeded is not a terrible combination for OPR. Like, this is like almost the best in slot amulet. I just want to left click as a melee in a clump without needing hatchet. Oh no. But what if AGS said no? Thoughts on the new weapon armor penetration perk? I think it's pretty good. It is conditional. Like maybe too conditional, but I think it still is pretty good. Okay. So we are missing a lot of things with this build. Usually you'd want to either have a good amount of refreshing, or you'd want to have magnetic gauntlets. Instead, we have void dark plate, and we don't have refreshing. But the idea here, the base idea, is every single time I use a void gauntlet ability, it's going to be applying the Power Stone weaken debuff. So my void gauntlet becomes like both the offensive class in terms of rending and the defensive class in terms of applying weaken. So it just should feel a little bit stronger than it used to. The flail is always going to be good. I don't have the flow upgraded because we can't upgrade the flow right now, but we could upgrade the flow tomorrow, and then we can put on like smite, whatever perk we want to, so that will be helpful. That's a both weapon perk? Yeah, it's a both weapon perk. So the base idea behind this combo is basically just to go infinite. And then do a lot. Because you can apply the orbs and the Ren's pathway with the flail and on the Void Gauntlet out. I don't think it's going to work that way yet because I'm missing a lot of things for it to work properly. The biggest one is the Mag Gauntlets. I do think going 350 focus will feel really good with this though. Because what 350 focus like allows you to do is every time you use your ult, it will reduce the cooldown of all your active abilities, so then it helps you like kind of go a little bit more infinite. If that makes sense. So like that right there applies a weaken to all those targets. That right there applies a weaken at this target. You can see the weaken on him right now. So like that's the kind of idea behind this. This also applies a weaken. This is also applying weaken. If I go for a heal here, that applied a weaken to everyone in that clump. Apply another weaken back there. I'm gonna die because we don't have heals, but oh nope, not dead. So, see how my cooldowns are kind of low? I use my ultimate, that reduces my cooldowns even further. You go for trip. So this is without like anything functioning properly, and I'm still able to get some value with it. So there's another weekend. Gonna apply the cleanse over there. Throw another heal orb down. Could scream this guy. Okay, we could drop the Obliv, give the Empower to people. Trip there, that's another weaken on him, right? So he's not doing damage. There's a weaken this way. So you're just tossing weakens out at people is the idea. Like, and if I'm on Flail out, then I'm providing, like, passive utility in terms of Fortifies from the Focus perk. And then I'm also applying passive heals. Like, if you look at the Focus, I think it's 200. No, it's this one. 300, apply, get 20% fortify for 10 seconds when healing allies while your mana is at or above 50%. So I am, like, pretty consistently applying that. Say I'm getting low, like, right now. Then we go Void Gauntlet, we throw the orb out, we heal up. So it's, like, it's a self-sustain, like, kind of thing. Actually feels weirdly good. I didn't expect this to feel this good with such shitty perks. Alright, I'm gonna pop the Vortex here and back up. So that's a cleanse to all my allies. Drop the Obliv. So I put like 2 or 3 stacks a weaken. This is a giant weaken. I have like roughly 75% weaken going on in this clump right now. And then I can mainhand flail because we're in melee range. More weakens. Drop a disease. Yeah, this feels really, really strong, I'm not gonna lie. Which is like, it's hard to perceive how strong it is, like, but I am applying so much weaken that no one's doing damage to me anymore. And I'm stripping buffs with my orbs, right? Because it has a 75% buff strip. And that's without the Oblivion. So like that bow right there, hit him with a weaken, now he does no damage. Hey buddy. You get staggered. Let's drop an Oblivion here, give people that Empower to work with. Gonna throw some weakens on this guy, throw out a healing orb. Scream that guy. Let's throw out a deflecting frailty, which will give us passive life steal, which will help us keep our health up a little bit better. Yeah, no, this is a top tier meta build, I'm not gonna lie, for supports. This is actually gonna be a thing. I feel like it's really hard to perceive weaken value unless you're like playing the game, but like nothing is scary anymore. Like nothing hurts me. Like the SNS build, like it works if you have people around you, but this build's like kind of on a different tier, I think, for OPR. And I have like none of the weapon perks or like really anything for it. So like this guy, like look at him, he's hitting me for 1.3k. I applied so many weakens to him that he's not doing damage anymore and he's just losing the duel and I'm passively healing for the stuff he's doing to me because of the 350 focus. Like, same with this guy. He's doing damage, now he's not doing it anymore. And I can scream him, put him in place. I could trip him if he doesn't do anything. They could put the Revile on the ground there. Let people move a little bit better. This is a top tier meta build. I'd probably go as far as to say this is probably the best support build of the patch. And I'm doing it with like 0 weapon perks and it still feels good. So there's a weekend. Tripped, smited, can't play the game, he's dead. There's the disruptor aspect of it. It's also a disruptor. That's why when I made that video, I was like, this build does everything. Like, I don't have the haste perks on here yet. I don't have any of the weapon perks basically on here yet. I am not running gems. Half these guys are from legacy characters. It doesn't matter. It still feels good. I could also go for heavy attacks with Void Gauntlet, and that will pass through targets. So if I throw a heavy attack here, I just hit 3 people with that heavy attack. And that applied a weaken to all those people because the heavy attacks go through people now. So like that right there, went through that person, hit another person behind them. Okay, so we need to leave now, right? Oh no, I've really messed up. I'm out of position. I'm gonna pop all my flail stuff and just walk away, and never mind, I died. That should give me a 28% haste. It would be higher with the other stuff. I don't know why it didn't give me the cleanse immunity there. Like, it seems like it's not giving you grit immunity on it right now. And your OPR as an assassin, your weekend is letting me clump with 100 con? Yeah. I think it's 70% weakened I'm putting out right now. So the flail is 20%. The Void Gauntlet is an additional 15%, so that's 35%. And then the flail's first ability is around 25 to 35% weakened, and there's another passive in there too, so it should be around 70%. Also, we need to make sure these guys are not damaging. Let's throw down a heal real quick. Keep moving. I'm gonna throw a bile up there. Yeah, this thing feels good. And it's also like a healer too. Like, it's not a great healer because I'm in heavy, but it functions as like a healer kind of role. And this is like with the tiny Void Gauntlet with 2 perks on there too. I'm yoinking this build. Yeah, I made a build guide for it and put a video up about it. I just hadn't played it before. Like, this is like a very, very early stage of the build. I don't think you need to go Mad Gauntlets either. I think I put that in the build and I thought you might want it, but like, you don't have to run it. He hit me for 109! Oh no! Smite you. Vortex for Empower. He's gonna be low in a second. Trip, and he's dead. So we're about to breach in here. I want to put a passive heal on everybody. So throw a heal. Kind of simple. The Oblivion also generates passive stamina for everyone in it. If you miss your orb, you just turn it into a heal, right? And it doesn't hurt. That guy just hit the person on the wrong team. You could hit people from above like that. Oh, I have the wrong weapon out. It gives me a Fortify too. Pretty big weaken. So we're actually able to go infinite right here. If we want to. Yeah, nope. I got caught in the middle of that one. I should be running this with Stone Form. I should not be running this without Stone Form, but I kind of wanted to see how it would feel. I also am not playing around the bug. You got Power Stone equipped? It's so strong. Yeah, Power Stone. That's the base idea. We go Power Stone. Power Stone carries us. Only reason why I kind of want to force the bile right now is I don't have another disease. So I probably should be playing this like relatively passively, but I'm like trying to limit test at the same time. I do have a way to get a lot of passive defense up from mitigated protection if I play for it, but I haven't really been playing for it. Looks like people are running over here and like kind of running towards Baron. I don't know why with heavy attack feels so bad now. Did they change something? They changed like a lot of how the hitboxes work in terms of like where attacks are hitting consistently. So that's probably what they changed. Or something akin to that. Speed boost. It's so fast. It's so fast. I'm back up to full. Oh no. Yeah, I'm dead. You could zoom though. I think it's literally just I need to get the Void Gauntlet perked, and then I need to put Smite on Flail, and then this build is going to be cooking. I'm also not running the... I think when I cooked with this, I was like, you want to be higher HP, right? Oh, I didn't bring it. I have the Artifact Ring. That gives you lifesteal. Like, I should be probably using that. I need to level it up, though, the full way. That would keep my health up, like, very, very high, too. I think because we don't have all the weapon perks, we're gonna have to play this as a VG Flail, not a Flail VG. Which is fine. That's also a slow if the person has a dot on them. Tripped. This is a root if you hit all four. If you look at the ground, the hitbox is slightly better for Void Gauntlet for some reason, and I don't know why. Give everyone an empower real quick. Throw some weakens through that clump with the heavies. I think I need to leave. If I had keen speed, I'd be like zooming right now, but I don't. Kind of have to wait for a front line to show up. I'm not really a front line character. Let's keep the flail out, give people that passive empower while we're like running around. Also passive heals. So this is passive empower, passive heal, just general buffs to allies while it's out. Tried to get that person out, wasn't really able to. Need to heal up a bit. Do that. Gonna make sure I'm like within range of allies to give the bonuses. This guy just ran it down. Tier list. I don't have. That's honestly probably a good command to set up because I do have a tier list. Let's throw a bile on the ground there. Flail out so we get the passive heal up. That should be a death off of that trip. Jeez. Trying to give this guy my heal. Can't really help him. I'm just gonna run it down that hard though. Also can't really help myself. The pulls and the roots on the great axe are like a lot more oppressive than they used to be. Because they like keep you in place a bit longer, and I feel like the thing from that flail isn't really doing a good job of cleansing it. Like it's supposed to be a cleanse, but it feels like it's still able to pull you. Maybe unmoves a little bit better. Can you do a blunderbuss video for fire staff build with the gear you choose? Or can the blunderbuss video be kind of applied to fire staff build with the gear you choose? Yeah, it can be kind of applied. It's pretty similar. The idea with elemental band remains the same, where it's like if you utilize that, you don't really have to go for super greedy options. So yeah, I think you actually can just basically port that over if you wanted to. That gives this guy a life steal. Tried to keep him up. I don't think I kept him up though. I feel like we're losing this. I feel slower, but I shouldn't be slower. I don't apply weakens anymore, my HP is too low. My gosh, they really nerfed jumping. It used to be like Abyss movement attack. It feels so much worse now. Has done that twice. I don't think that really works. Should be a weekend on him. Throw a weekend on this guy. This guy keeps running it down. Should be a free kill. Yeah. Don't know why he's living as long as he's living. They win here though. No, this build feels really strong. Even without like the proper gear. Like a very, very easy shell to get a lot of value with. Like what's the assist def? 65 to 53? Yeah, that sounds about right. SNS Spear, the strongest island build, you think? No, I think it's SNS Hatchet. I wanted to make a build guide for that today, actually. Shoot, I didn't even use my food up, though. I kind of want to do another. And then try it with that ring. I don't have fully leveled. I probably should have fully leveled. This one. I feel like I try it with this. But at the same time, I probably should level it. Build guide time? Okay, fine, we can do build guide. Yeah, I was in that OPR with Hatchet Sin. Hatchet Sin's just like a really good artifact in general. It's like, hard to complain about it. How good do you think Abyss Firestaff is? Meta. Okay. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. If you guys could put some builds in the chat that you want to see, I will do 2 of them today, depending on like what people like really want to see. I don't think I've done a tank one yet. I don't think I've done some like light DPS stuff yet. I don't think I've done like a Firestaff Abyss one yet. So kind of like just write down your thoughts, and then I can pick one real quick. Anti-SNS hatchet build? I don't know if I have one for that. Abyss Fire Staff. If you do the SNS hatchet, will you do a flowchart that includes the mid and end game gears? That not necessary in this game. Usually how I do it is I just show the end game level gear build, and it's like if this is the end game bis or whatever, which I messed this one up if I remember correctly, and actually you kind of want onk on here. And then this would be strike, protection, and that's fixed now, but do I have to adjust this at all? No, I don't. Cool. But like what I usually say is like if you can't get this gear, like you say you can't get this medium glove or whatever, just try to get like 1 or 2 perks from it. Like don't worry about it too much. The gear score matters less than the actual perks itself though, which is noteworthy. So it's like try to get like somewhat close. Do a flail void build. I think I already did a flail void build. Yeah, I already got my flail VG like bis set up over here. And I'm not even close to getting the right amount of perks. And I don't even know if you need magnetic gauntlets too is the thing. Like I feel like you actually don't. But Abyss Fire stuff I think is the one that we probably want to do. This goes at the bottom for some reason when you search for it. And this would be Gorgon. How good is the PvP tracks Fire Staff 2? That might be kind of interesting to look at. I don't think it's that good. It's a thing. Disdained Inflection's kind of interesting, actually. Ooh, that's actually a pretty good Fire Staff. Honestly, I think I could work with that. And that's easier to get, too. So the idea behind this build, then, would be a crit damage base build. Where you try to do as much damage off of your crits as you possibly can. Which, unfortunately, there's not really a good next perk to go for the Fire Staff. Like, it's probably just a weapon perk, which feels weird. Like, Empowering Meteor Shower is like a relatively good one, but usually you put this on armor. Like, probably Pillar of Fire. It's either this or you do Attunement. Like, all of them are good. I think we actually go Attunement here, and the reason why is because I think I'm going to go for the Ring Cheese with this build. So this would be Elemental Band. This would be Gorgon's Amulet. This would be a... either Deckhand or probably Deckhand would be best for this one. Gear, this should definitely be featherweight for this build because you're kind of going to be getting in there as a light player. And then I've got to pull up my little cheat sheet for builds with featherweight. Disdained Infliction plus Magnetic Gauntlets equals Chef's Kiss. Yeah, that's a kind of silly one. Honestly, maybe we don't go for the Penetrating the Empowered and we go for Disdained Inflection or Infliction. Like, that's another option too. Like, I feel like that's a pretty good perk. Like, especially for Fire Staff, but because you just do so many dots. But the upside of Penetrating Empowered is like so huge with this. Also, we just shouldn't do chain. We should be doing Attunement. Like penetrating empowered is like you have 10% armor penetration. You have like a 1.5 crit damage modifier with this weapon or something stupid high. Like that just sounds too good to be true. Like even if it's like not something that you can consistently get perfectly. Honestly, Keen's not bad either. Like there are a lot of good choices for this. Featherweight, light, and stop lagging. Can you link the Void Flail build? Yeah, I can link the Flail Void, like the one that I'm trying to make that I did a budget version at OPR. That's the Flail VG. Is there a way to get deckhands back if you salvaged it? No. That's the kind of the sad part. If you don't have it, you can run a different thing. You're just missing out on something that's like really, really helpful. Like it's a free 24% in power is how I look at it. It's like it's so nice for a lot of builds. Teardrop's usually a substitute that some people go, but that involves you being a little bit more tanky. Okay, so with featherweight and light, what does heavy look like again? Okay, so heavy is that color of red. So it would be heavy feet, heavy hands, which I think is perfect because then we can pick up the keen speed, which is Sand Lion. There is I think there's a headpiece that's light that has keen on it. We probably want that. Unfortunately, which is like kind of a weird piece because we don't have it. It's like gonna pert a bit too. We do acquisition, trial the devour. It will be easier. Wait, no, it's not. It's the chest. So we don't care about that then. Okay, cool. So we don't have to do anything else that's weird. It's just the one piece. 725 is going to take forever. Yeah, I know. That's the like you don't have to use 725, but it's like that's the ideal for it. It's like you could use lower gear score. I wouldn't really worry about it too much. Like I think I've seen a couple people just commit to not wanting to get 725 this patch. Like they think it's just going to take too hard, and AGS is going to make it easier at some point. And it's like that's a pretty fair opinion, honestly. This would probably want to be either Stoneform or Cannon. Both of them are pretty good. This reduces your outgoing damage when you use it, though. It's the main downside, but I still think it's good enough to where you'd probably want to run it. Alright, what third perk do we want on our Great Axe? Probably Crippling Reap. Oh my god, it's a 50% slow now? Ew! Who designed that? Oh god. Oh. That is so gross. Like, I think it's something like this. Since when can boots have keenly empowered on them? It's just this pair of name boots. That's why they're so good. Like you want them for like so many builds because keen speed is just not fair. Or you said keen speed. There's also a leg piece with keenly empowered, and it's also not very fair. Like both of those are like really effective. I actually don't know the fire staff tree off the top of my head. I'm just gonna kind of click random things and then hope it looks kind of good. I'll come back to it later. Like, surely it's not that complicated, right? Wait, no, you have to pick that. Probably don't need this one. You actually don't want to really use mana. Or you actually don't want to gain mana with this build, which is a little counterintuitive. Is a Madhouse Fire Staff good? What is that? Oh. Oh, that's a good starting one. Yeah, that's solid. Keen Empowering Fireball, not terrible. So Thorny Reflection will boost our Elemental Band. That's the idea behind this. Shirking Empower just allows us to not have to go DPS perk slots where we once had to. We can go Health. It can go Thrust. Protection. And we're pretty set there. Terms of this gear. Well, what's our stat looking like? We should be going 500 every single time. I would think. It might be 200, actually. Because we need con food. So we need con food. Do I have everything set to 725 except for that piece? Yes, I do. So this would be the right amount of stats. Wait, this feels like it's so much less stats, though. I normally have 650 stats. Wait, what? Am I tripping? Earring is missing stats? It's not that many, though. Like, the earring's missing 16 stats. And I'm expecting like 650 or something like that. And I've got like 570. Maybe I just haven't put them all in yet. Do I have more stats to put in here? Oh yeah, I have 61 more stats. Okay. So I'm not crazy. Honestly, this is an enchanted ward kind of class, not an elemental version. Like, you have enough damage to be fine in an elemental duel. And you want to get our health up a little bit because we're running less con than normal. Wait, you can't do this. Isn't Thorny Reflection... Oh no, it's not Thorny Reflection, it's AP. It's hasted vigor. I mean, hasted vigor is something that's pretty good. There's also another option for the fire stuff that we could go for here. What perk bracket is Alacritus punishment? Damage con. I'm about to make this like 20 times better. Unfortunately. Sorry guys, can't get the budget one. And then this last one would probably still be pillar. Or it would be attunement. Probably attunement. So now we just do a bunch of damage. Heart Rune doesn't have stats. Is there, if you want to do a lot of damage, what do you recommend? You basically want to get your empower as high as possible because a lot of weapons have ways to get your base damage up. And sneaky ways to get a lot of empower very quickly are Deckhand, Shirking Empower, and the Elemental Band. Like, those are probably the 3 best ways to get it up quickly. I don't think we need... Actually, do we even need more empower than this? How much empower would the Elemental Band be with this build? 1, 2, 3, 4... Yeah, so that's 16%. And then we have 21 from here. We have 7 from honing. I don't actually know if we need more in power. I think it might be good. This might just be a purifying heart angle. Honestly, invigorated punishment's probably pretty good on this build, actually, now that I think about it. Because you have a lot of, like, damage things. New deadlock patches nutty micro when you're playing. Not today, for sure. It's 9:30. It's way too late to start a deadlock game, but probably weekend. I heard they did a lot of changes. Why do I have 9 pings? Second. Oh, that ping doesn't matter. I don't think any of this matters. Okay, cool. So we want empowering meteor shower for sure. We're not running it. Never mind. What about fortify burnout? It's only for 5 seconds is the problem. But it is a really good skill. And you have featherweight on. We don't have any conditioning with this build. Oh god, it's gonna make gemming a nightmare. Honestly, probably these last 2 slots just have to be slash conditioning. I want to do refreshing though. Fuck it, we're not going defensive at all. We're just going refreshing. Like, we don't have any refreshing, and that's such a good perk to have with this kind of build. Is it better than this? I think it barely is. Honestly, I don't think we need to go deckhand either. But I'm like kind of debating that. So this is 21%. This is 16%. Then we have 7, so we're sitting at like 40% passive bonuses, so we should get to the cap. Yeah, we don't need deckhand. The reason why this matters is because we can go empowering toast. And then we can go refreshing. I sold deckhand, so put one without. Unlucky. Do you have a Venom build with SNS to link? I don't right now. I know it's something that some people have been running a bit more. Okay. So what would we want to do if we have really shitty... Well, we definitely want thrust protection. The slash we can just keep distance from, in theory. And we could just play for the fire staff. The thrust, like, we absolutely need. So this is, like, actually a different... Like, I don't normally gem this way. Is, like, what I'm about to say. This is, like, a weird gem setup where I'm leaving myself vulnerable to a few different resistance types. But the idea is based off of how this class plays, you should only be taking damage to ranged, basically. You shouldn't ever be taking damage to melee unless you're like really going in there trying to secure a kill versus melee. And then you should have enough coverage then. So it's like... This gem resistance is very, very weird. Where I have 20% thrust, I have 15% elemental, and I have no resistance to anything else. I have no resistance to slash, I have no resistance to warhammer, but because you could play from range, I think it's okay. I also have one more of refreshing than I need to have, so we could actually go for the burnout again. Unless there's a better Great Axe perk to go for, I don't think there is. Yeah, no, there's not. Empowering Fireball is pretty good. It's not as good, though. What damage is it? It's 12% more damage. I do not care. That is nothing. So be something like this. Oh, and then we have another dot, so we get another case of Empower. I forgot about the dot mechanic. Honestly, I feel like Onyx is really underrated. Did you put 2 refreshing on featherweight? Yeah, I did. Thank you. I forgot. That doesn't change anything, basically, but it does change where the port goes. Because we just move Fortify Burnout to here. Or we take another health, which is probably better than Fortify Burnout, to be honest. So I guess it does change something. So something like this, I think, is pretty good. I can... Okay, there's a really weird thing here. I actually don't think you take mana food with this, because the weird synergy that you have going on is if you have more... If you have less mana, then your Great Axe does more. And so you kind of like... You don't really want to generate mana. You'll generate mana off of your crits. You'll generate when you go to your Great Axe, and I don't think you actually want passive mana regen. How do I see these builds you made? I send a link right now, and they're going to be put on the website this weekend. It's just something that I have to spend time doing, and I've been procrastinating doing. Yeah, I'm going to have to put some good music on either tomorrow or Saturday to crank those out. Like, there's a lot of work to do for those. Like, what Crush was, or what Sherlock was doing is he's typing out like an explanation for everything. He's like embedding the stuff that you need. doing the attributes, doing the armor, and like he's doing a blurb for everything. Like this will actually take me like a day or two just to do. Like he didn't do this perfectly, but it's like an idea. Like the idea of like having it in like a story kind of format is just like it's gonna take a while. It's either that or I just throw everything like up together and I don't really give as big of an explanation, but I feel like that's probably not what I want to do. Could you send a link to the Bruiser build, please? Yeah, I could send a link to it. The other thing I was trying to do too. Okay, let me actually do it this way, because I've been sending links out. We have the build section of the Discord. I might just throw builds in here. Because I feel like that's easier for everyone to keep track of as a whole if I just start throwing them in here. So if I like pull this off to the side and then I do Bruiser and then I... Oh wait, we already put the Bruiser one in here, right? Oh no, I didn't. There's like a lot of builds in there right now. And I could do share, I could share the build, I could take a screenshot of the build, and then I could put it in here as well. So it's like if you guys want builds, I could start putting them in here. Pin the builds link in a header? What do you mean? Is it hard to see them in a Discord? It's just they're all buried in here. But the most recent ones are up to date. I just figure that's easier because then everyone can see them until I put them on the site, but they're going to be on the site in like a day or two. So I could put the Abyss one there too. Which I have a bunch of them. I just haven't put them all on this thing yet. Where'd the Abyss one go? Here it is. Oh, I forgot consumes. What consumes to even go with this? I'd honestly probably go Oak Flesh because we have like 0 physical resist and you might just get deleted. Like probably health and then serum. Oh, and I forgot desert for here. And then Abyss Fire Staff. And if you go to picture thing here, you can do full gear set. Like I don't know if that tree is perfect, but it's like it's a way to start with this at least. And the goal right now is maybe not to do them like completely perfectly, but at least have a build out there that's like relatively competent for people, and then you can just take it and like kind of modify it a bit. Face roll build? What is a face roll build? Like tanking? I actually don't know what that means. Click keys, do ton of damage. Oh. Like, I mean, that's like kind of Greatsword Hatchet or kind of Bruiser. Like, both those kind of do that. Not perfectly, but somewhat. Oh, did I flail VG? Why did I put this thing on there? Oh, I remember why I put this thing on there. Nah, fuck that. What's the thing called? What is the refreshing ward shield called? That I like a lot, that has slash protection. What? Oh, not slash protection. Slash shield word. And then refreshing. Oh, shield of suppression. There we go. That's the one I want. Oop. Really good shield. And I'm taking this off too, and I'm going teardrop, and I'm getting greedy and just gonna spam buttons the entire time. Maybe take off Mad Gauntlets too, and then go Void Dark Plate. Shift a few things around, but it'll be like pretty much the same. Well, actually, no. If we go Void Dark Plate instead of Mad Gauntlets, then we would need to cut some of these and put in some refreshing. So this is probably okay for now. What's the highest DPS build right now? SNS Hatchet. That's one I wanted to create today too. But this is like a new build that people are starting to use. Oh, I did have one thing I need to change for a different build real quick. This spear SNS, I think I went for a damage spear. I think we actually changed this to a utility spear. Which is kind of boring. Or, sorry, sword, not spear. So it'd be trenchant. A trenchant red and plague strikes. And upheaval. Oh, actually, no, you don't run upheaval. Fortified Shield Rush? Can't run that either. That's a different perk. Empowering Leaping Strike, sure, that's fine. It'd be something like that. Pick Void for both these? No, I did not. Okay, cool. Going back to the Hatchet build. This is a build that people are starting to play in OPR. That has felt really good for a few players that I know of. Do I want to do Gorgon's Hatchet or do I want to do Sin? I think people have been running it with Sin, but I feel like there's better options. Honestly, this one's kind of insane. Does 2% more damage per debuff on a target, 5 stacks max, keenly jagged, refreshing move. It's not bad. I think it's a little better, actually. It's good damage, and then also it will make the sword stuff just do stupid things. This one I don't know the exact setup for like how you would run it, but I have like ideas. No Sin, not gonna lie. Sin from Wall Boss. I mean, it might not be Sin. Like, both of them are pretty good. Like, the idea behind Sin is like, you know, there's like 10 debuffs. Or no, there's 5 debuffs. You're doing 10% more damage, and that's like about as good as some other perks. But then the other option is like, you go for the PvP hatchet, like the Shipwrecker. Or no, you know, Shipwrecker's bad actually, but you can go like pen backstab, penetrating the empowered, and just delete key somebody. Which sounds kind of funny. Like, this is the funny hatchet, right? Like, say you don't go that. You can go pen the empowered, pen backstab. And then you can go keen berserk. And then, like, anytime you hit someone from behind ever, they just insta-die. Like, doesn't this sound like, is this too greedy? Because this sounds insane to me that you can like get this on a hatchet. It's like, hatchet has a 1.4 crit damage modifier. Anytime you hit someone behind with that, you're then piercing 37% of armor for the most part. And then that crit damage modifier is actually a 1.6 because of Keen Berserk. So that should just be an insta-kill. Sin slow build with Blood Drinker and Crippling. I mean, that's another way to build it too. It's just that's not how I'm building this. I'm building this as a squishy DPS. Thought the entire premise of Hatchet was getting target lock and it's hard to backstab. It is, but no one's using target lock defensively, which was like what the assumption I thought would be. You're still able to hit people from behind. You can run Hatchet with a 20% gem damage gem too. You mean Moonstone? Yeah, you could run it with Moonstone. I think it's better to do it not with Moonstone though, like not with that one. I do the like a gem Moonstone. And the reason for that is there's some perks within the Hatchet tree that will trigger off of debuffs that the opponent has and will boost your damage by more than the value of the Moonstone, like 3%. It is squishy DPS. I'm deleting people and they can't run away. That sounds like a really good 1v1 Hatchet build. If you go for Crippling Feral on Sin, you get to hit them from behind, they can't run away because they're rooted, and then you're healing up. But I don't know. Hatchet, vicious, keenly empowered attunement perk or chain damage perk. I mean, I think any backstab perk is just better than vicious. But if you're just hitting him from behind, then Keen Berserk is like pretty good too. Yeah, that's the idea, is we're going for upheaval here. Actually, no. Do we go upheaval or do we go for leaping? I think you go for leaping. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. Upheaval, shield bash, leaping. That's the idea behind Sin and why we were talking about Sin earlier. Is like Sin's like really, really gross with that too. Vicious pen, backstab, crippling feral. I feel like penetrating empowered's better than vicious though. Like you already have a really, really high crit damage modifier, and extra pierce surely is just better than like 7% extra to the crit damage mod. Like this is already like a 1.6 crit damage mod. I feel like the delta between a 1.6 and a 1.67 is like not as good as the delta of having 10% armor pen, no? Yeah, no, I've hit 8k crits with upheaval as a tank in the raid. Like it's ridiculous. I should never be hitting for 8k in a raid with my tank set up. It's like actually silly. Like it's kind of dumb. Oh, do we ever go rogue? No, this is proc. No, you can't go rogue. I feel like the SNS perks don't matter as much too. So I just tuned in. You aren't running Sin. I think this is better than Sin, but Sin is very, very good too. Like, I could very easily see an argument to go Sin. But, like, the idea behind this is I have a 1.6 crit damage modifier, and now I have 37% armor penetration in certain conditions. Like, that's not fair. How do you get the hatchet on the left? You need to... This is a raid upgrade hatchet. It's not easy to get. Like, I'm pretty sure this hatchet's better than Sin, but Sin is, like, very, very competitive still. What do you say is a good Void Gauntlet trait for PvP? Diminishing Orb. Anyone that tells you that Scream is better than Diminishing Orb on Void Gauntlet, tell them to fight me, because it's not. I'll take that to my grave at this point. Okay, so we're already at Empower Cap. So what artifact makes sense on armor? It's never unyielding, right? Like, surely not. It's such a funny artifact. Attune Leather Pants sounds pretty good on this build, honestly. Wing Leather Shoes also sounds decent. Does Hatchet count as a haste? Does Berserk count as a haste? 1 second. That would just buff this part. Yeah, they're different. Okay, they're different buffs. Well, you just want the Keen Speed Boots? That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the one I'm thinking going right now. I'm thinking of Wing Leather Shoes. Because it buffs the haste on you, and then you do more base damage while hasted, which is just super, super easy to get with the hatchet. Like, that just makes sense. Then what do you do if you have medium boots and you're in light without featherweight? Then you need to go medium legs and then light everything else. Okay. Wait, are the medium legs the funny one, or is it medium boots is the funny one from the Devour? I feel like I'm too obsessed with the Devour gear. Like, no one's gonna get this gear, but, like, it looks insane. Okay, it's not the medium ones. There's, like, one of these where it's, like, I think it's these boots. Yeah, the medium boots that have Enchanted Ward and Elemental Aversion. It sounds so nice. To have a higher gear score, like, variant of, because it's the thing right now, but you can't get it everywhere. What was I looking for again? Medium legs, so it's just, we just do Gorgon here. And then we're light everything else. Is there a light piece that's worth picking up? Maybe that. Is Keen Shirking Energy really worth it, though? Probably. I don't love that piece. You can't run light without featherweight with a shield, Micro. Oh, wait, you're right. I forgot there's a shield. Unless I go full light. Yeah, but we can't go wing leather, right? We have to go light artifact. is the problem now. Like, what are our options for light artifacts? We have unyielding. Which isn't that great. Gray Wizard's Hat's like weirdly tech, but probably not amazing. Tumbler is perfectly fine, and honestly, probably you would just go. Yeah, you probably just go Tumbler then. Yeah, you just go Tumbler then. With Featherweight, you can go full medium except 1 apiece light. Featherweight sounds nice. Like, I want to say Featherweight is better than Tumbler, because you're going to be at Empower cap, right? Just because Hatchet has a ton of Empower built in the tree. Like, if I do Hatchet tree real quick. Also, is this the Hatchet tree, or do you go for Feral Rush? I feel like the heavy attack with the Hatchet feels better as a setup tool, but... What region's nerfed to the ground? Oh, you're talking about on, hearing? I still like Regen, unlike everything, though. It feels good. Like, you don't have to run it, but earring perks don't really matter. Take the last passive off the right tree. This one? Oh. Oh, that one. I mean, I could do this, and then we have Stam. I don't think you're gonna go for heavy attacks in PvP very often. Something like that. Except the last point passive. Oh yeah, that thing sucks. Yeah, I forgot about that. You want an aim throw? Does anyone want to mess with an aim throw? I don't like it since you can't cancel the attack. Yeah, it's Biss, not even kidding. Okay. So the next question is, do people care about tumblers versus going for featherweight? Because those are the two options. The con is going to be really, really low. Tumblers will proc a ton. I think we probably go tumbler, but... Featherweight, in my opinion, to run heavier armor. Feather? Okay. Tumbler sounds fun, though. Thanks, Yagi. So featherweight, I go to light, I go shield class, I set that to light, and then what's our highest builds? So I do want to hit medium feet because I want the I want these feet. Dune something. That sounds good. So then everything's medium except for head. And head is light. Ring, earring. This is... I feel like if there's a build that runs Phoenix, it's this build. No? Like, surely this build is good with Phoenix. Like, if this build isn't good with Phoenix, like, I don't even know anymore. I could go the damage hatchet, but I feel like I'm already going to be at the empower cap. Nope, don't run it. It's still bad? It fucks the build? What? Does it, like, proc at the same time that your ult procs on hatchet or something? Oh, they can proc at the same time? Well, then we go Endless Thirst then, right? Like, I don't think you go for the Empower Ring on this. I feel like that's, like, a little too hard to make work. Like, I would have 3 instances. Blood Drinker? Blood Drinker is a base damage nerf, but... You actually go Blood Drinker with this? Even though it's a somewhat of a base damage nerf there? I'm getting 2 people saying Blood Drinker now, though. Light Blood Drinker, that's what I'm saying. It doesn't really make sense to me, but if everyone playing it wants it, then I can go for it. Like, I kind of get the idea behind it, because you're just, like, trading the, like, all the time, and you have a, this is a lifesteal-oriented build, right? Because of your Keen Berserk. It's just, it feels like a cook to me to try to make it so that your lifesteal off of Berserk is working, like, super well. But, I mean, we can go for it. The Heart Rune, dude, like, this used to be Vines every single time, and now I don't know if it's Vines, because the exhaust would be on you. And I feel like in Light, that's, like, really, really bad. Yeah, I mean, that's what I was gonna go. I was gonna go for the serum stuff. Like, that makes more sense to me than Blood Drinker, but, like, the Blood Drinker I also could see. It's also empowering Toast, which is another way to get, like, benefits there. Like, yeah, it should be Stone Form. The weird part about Stone Form is that the heal nerfs your damage, but it does help you trade. There's a leeching Stone Form? That's a thing? Oh, Dark Ascent. I feel like I would be cooking too much of going for Dark Ascent. Like, it's good damage, though, is the weird part. Like, this feels like a cook. You are empower capped on Hatchet. Oh, so you're saying Endless Thirst is useless because of that? I mean, even if you're in power capped on Hatchet, though, the base damage reduction from this is pretty significant, I would assume. I think I'm gonna embrace the cook with it for now. Let's just go for the cook build. I think you can go either way. I don't think regen makes much sense with this because we're just so low all the time. Healing Heart kind of makes sense for this sort of build. Do I do the funny thing? I feel like I do the funny thing. I don't think I've done this tech on any build yet. And I feel like it's like kind of overcooking. Because then you have 3 pots, and then you have your defensive, and that's all you could run. This type of stuff is so good on medium. Yeah, but it's light is the weird thing. Like, it feels kind of cookie for light. Like, I don't like Blood Drinker on light. Dude, I don't like Blood Drinker on right. I'm gonna go with I'm just gonna build it for Glass Cannon and stop thinking, I think. Because I'm like thinking too much about this. Like I'm like overcomplicating it. Like if you're medium, I can kind of see going for the lifesteal thing, but in light, I don't think you do. Purifying Heart to cleanse the stuff on you, do slash damage, but you're probably already at the empower cap, so you probably don't want it. Invigorated Punishment's kind of interesting. Just do Mortal Empowerment, though. If I remember correctly, Mortal Empowerment, like, bypasses the empower cap somehow, so it's something stupid like that. Like, this is, like, actual just flat damage, and, like, this should be a Feast or Famine build. Because the medium armor builds benefit from sustain more with maths. Yeah, that's true. Wait, what? Does it say 25% of the base value? We're already at Empower cap, right? We don't need Shirking Empower. Unimpeded or Divine would be the next 2 best options. Yeah, slash damage is capped by Empower. Is there ever tech with Empowered on here? Oh my god, there is tech. So if you run Empowered, it will extend the duration of Berserk, because this counts as an Empower because it has all the Empower things on here. Yeah. It's like, I think that, I was like, I think that works, but I'm not 100% sure. There is a weird thing with here where you actually don't want the potion decreasing effect. I feel like Healing Heart's better. Surely Healing Heart's better. Like go Healing Heart. Honestly, I kind of like the Dark Ascent tech on this build, but it feels like sketchy. But I kind of like it. Like now that they nerfed the vines. What's the best PvP server right now? FFA zone is dead on Kalahari. I think the FFA zone is just dead in general. I don't think there's a reason to go there unless you want to PvE gather materials. You go there once a week to get your chest and you leave. I still need to get my chest for this week, but like I don't think there's much content. This is gonna be kind of a gross build, I'm not gonna lie. So we probably want refreshing distance throw on something. Oh wait, do I not have health on here? I should probably put health on that. Put this on a different perk. Probably want refreshing distance throw. Is there anything else on Hatchet that we need? I don't think we need refreshing torrent. Sword and shield, we want upheaval. And then these last two are kind of flex, so we probably put slash conditioning on there. And then pretty standard resist, I think. You do 2 and you do 15. And just don't fight Warhammers and you're perfectly fine. You could outtrade every single other build in the game, probably. And then you do fire resist pots and call it a day. Does that sound good, or am I missing something? Leaping Strike on Sword is better than Upheaval, not gonna lie. I mean, that's what I did. I put Leaping Strike on Sword, because it's a bigger net gain for that to be on Sword. The only other thing I have to do is the shield. Which I could do an illegal one. I feel like we just cheese the round shield a bit. By cheese, I mean... Well, definitely... Do I have enchanted already? I do have enchanted already. Shield, Rush, Enchanted, Ward, and Vicious. Something like that. I do have one tech that might be better than this. But I think this is slightly better. There is a tech where you can go for conditioning, and the conditioning will work even if you don't have your shield out. So I could go for like flame conditioning. And then that would work while I have my hatchet out. And my sword out. Which might be slightly better than Vicious. But I think we're tanky enough, so I think I'm just gonna stick with this. It's 2... The Ascent feels like a cook, but I don't think it is a cook. Like it's you either go this or you go Stone Form. And Stone Form nerfs your damage, but Ascent does not. Now the question is, if you use Ascent, does it take you out of the Hatchet Berserk? Because I don't know if it does. I don't think it should. Still using Attunement. Yeah, I mean, there's not a better option, right? Like if I don't use a 2-minute, like what else am I gonna go? Like Mortal and Power? Like I can go for like Keenly Empowered, I guess. Like that might be a little better actually. Penetrate Empower? Is that a thing? Oh wait, yeah. I've talked about that one before. I mean, I feel like pen backstab would be better on the sword. I probably think you just go pen backstab. It feels a little boring. Penetrating the Empowered is mostly good because it's an extra proc perk chance. I feel like it's overcooking though to have like so much pen of the other stuff. Like I could drop Enchanted here and then I could go for Penetrate the Empowered. And then I can do Enchanted instead of Vicious. That I think is slightly better. Not much better. Server down and at 1 a.m. for maintenance. Yeah, in an hour. I mean, this feels pretty good. Like on paper. Like I don't think I'm upset with this. Vicious might be better because it could boost upheaval. Can Penetrate the Empowered not boost upheaval though? Like both of these would boost upheaval, right? It doesn't say basic attacks that like if you hit someone behind with upheaval, you are hitting for 27% like pierce, and then this is another 10%. What is Gloomed Bow of Spirit? Oh, I see where you're going with that. Yeah. I mean, we could do that. I kind of trust that enough. It's definitely Onyx though. Like I don't know this class super well, so I feel like I'm like less confident in it overall, but like that still seems really solid. Like this seems really solid. And then it's like it's cheaper to get this, right? The hatchet unfortunately comes with Keen, which kind of sucks. Wait, why am I 723? Shouldn't it be 725? What? 725, 725, 725, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25. What? Is it the heart rune? Ideally, you wanna... Okay, the heart rune brings down gear score? I did not realize that was a thing. I thought it was only armor that mattered for gear score and weapons. That is kind of stupid. So we want this in the decks for sure. I'm doing 100 con. I feel like 100 con's like a pretty safe balance for most builds. How's that? Yeah, that seems pretty good. Or do we want the crit while being empowered? And then do 50 con? Or do we drop this? 350, 200, 100? You want to get rid of 350 decks? Like 350 decks is like the best perk in the game. Yeah, like this is actually the best perk in the game that you can get on an attribute. You don't need the swap, you have Berserk. I guess. It still feels so weird to not take it though. But I do see like the value from going into strength. Like the 350 benefits you, the 300 benefits you, this benefits you. Like it benefits you all the way down the line, right? If we do this and we're doing stone form, that's the only change I'm doing. Like if you do that, you definitely want stone form. And if you do stone form, we have purifying heart. Yeah, I'm okay with this. Like if you want to cut the decks, then I think you should go for a stone form. So you have the other form of cleanse. If you keep the decks, then I don't think you need to run stone form, and you can get a bit greedier with the ult. Oh wait, did I do the funny tech on this one? I forget. No, I did not. I think the funny tech is better than this though. I don't usually recommend going for this kind of thing. Oh wait, it is in the consume bucket. Never mind. I was gonna recommend going for the pop of mana potion and it gives you bonuses. You could still run mana potions. The reason why you'd want to run a mana potion is because every time you pop the mana potion, then you'll gain fortify and you'll gain empower. With unless you must run mana potions. Yeah, I mean it makes sense. Like I thought you could take like the mana heal perk thing too, but you can't take it. You don't have room on here because it's in the same bucket. But this feels like this build would be super tanky, weirdly for a light build. And it would do a ton of damage. You dodge a lot with this build, right? Does it ever make sense to go for shirking heal instead of health? Or is that like cooking like way too much? Because that's like the only other question I would have. And I feel like you don't because your health is already so low and we already have so many forms of healing that I feel like that's overcooking. I'm late. Is this a solo build? Yeah, this is like solo oriented, but I think people are starting to like experiment it in like medium scale. It works for left click spam hatchet. Shirking heals is a must. Yeah, I kind of want to. I don't know if I want to do it today because it's kind of late, but I kind of want to do a medium version of this build too, with like the blood drinker and like that kind of like leeching kind of setup. Like I feel like that's weirdly a pretty effective build. Historically, the problem with medium hatchet is it's just completely countered by IGVG, and you can't really position as well as a light hatchet, which is why light hatchet's like a little bit better usually. I don't think you ever run hatchet in like heavy or anything like that still, because it's like again countered by IGVG pretty hard. Like the tumbler plus shirking heal plus onk is very good in PvX. Yeah, like, and I think you'd go medium in that case, right? Like not go light. Like I think it would work pretty well. I think the big tech that we learned today is that you could use Empowered and that will extend the duration of Berserk, which just feels kind of silly. Feels a little unfair, to be honest. People also usually feel that they must use Ankh with shirking heals, but if you have shirking heals and endless, your sustain and the rest potential is still huge. Yeah. I mean, this build's like sustain is mostly through endless thirst. Like endless thirst is really good sustain. Your ult's pretty good. You have a good amount of like lifesteal from Keen Berserk still, but this is like definitely less of a solo build if you don't go for shirking heals, I think. Is there a link for this build? Not yet. I'm about to generate it and put it in the Discord, but I could put it in the chats too, because we just talked about it. Yeah, you don't need shirking heals. Yeah, it feels like it's a little, like a bit too much. No, put it in the Discord too. It's crazy that I've done like 10 or 11 builds now and I haven't done one that's a tank. And I'm like out here playing tank in like 90% of the wars. It's actually so funny. What I get at it for with bow hatchet. Cousins, I'm egoing you. I I asked for the tree from a T1 bow player, man. I don't know what to say. I think I had what your tree was, or a tree that was kind of... No, I didn't have that tree. I had a different tree than this one. Wait, what is this tree? Wait, this isn't the tree I put on there before. Wait a second. Why is it different? Wait, it's just the wrong tree. Yeah. What? No, that's just like a completely different tree than the tree I have here. I don't understand. I'm derping. Like, I think I updated it, but it didn't update there. Is the tree correct in your SNS Scorpion build? Let's see. No. Yeah. Wait, no, that is what I had, but it's not what I want. So I like doing one plague crits and one plague strikes if I'm going to go for a util thing. Something like this. Can I take that off? No, I can't take that off. I feel like this is less good than it used to be, and this is a combo-oriented build, so... Like, this is, like, actually, like, kind of useful, because you're actually going to be knocking people down a lot. But it is, like, a combo-oriented build. This is meant to do a ton of damage. It's so annoying that it doesn't auto-update. My cousins, did it not update here? I just linked a different one. Why did it... It didn't link the right one. I'm so confused. I'm just gonna send a screenshot, I don't even know. Yeah, Krish, I don't really want to be going late, but we were going late. This is the problem with not just having it in one spot. Okay, we are good. Okay. That's basically the same tree I sent. Yeah, okay, I was like, I don't know. I got sent this tree. I was like, there's like an option to use this last perk or not to use this last perk, and I was like, use the last perk because Explosive Arrow just got buffed by 20%. Like, that was the only thing with this. What's your favorite build at the moment? Definitely Flail Void Gauntlet. That is such a fun build, but I don't have it completely online yet. I have like parts of the Exodia assembled. But this is just so silly. And the idea behind it is Flail 20% weaken. Void Gauntlet 30% weaken. And then you have other, or no, that's Flail 30% weaken. Void Gauntlet has another 15% weaken. So it's like 65% weaken. And you have Rens, and you have Disease, and you have buff removal, and you have Utility, and you have a way to increase people's CDR. And like, you don't even have to run this, like you can go Trip if you want to. Like, it's doesn't really matter what you go for the offhand. It's just like, it's just silly. Like, it's just a very silly build. By the way, I had the same problem. It seems to not be updating. I need to copy the new link of the build to have the updated tree. Oh, the amulet 723? We were trying to figure out why it was 720. Gosh dang it. Well, I mean, it doesn't really change anything. It's just you change like 2 perks. That would make more sense. Oh, this is... yeah. No. No. I think putting it into Dex is like slightly more DPS at this point than Strength because of scaling, so like it doesn't change much, but it changes it slightly. Okay. Does VG back bar feel better with IG, or better than IG with Flail now? I think it does with Artifact Flail. But without Artifact Flail, I think IG feels better. But it's also like, if you're running Flail and not running Artifact Flail, you're kind of trolling. The only time I think IG might feel better than VG is if you want to have 100% uptime on Leader of the Pack. But I think if you're playing Flail VG correctly, you should just know when to have Leader of the Pack out. Doing any SNS Warhammer? I don't have SNS Warhammer. I do have Bow done. Where'd Bow go? The list is expanding. It's getting longer. Here's Bow. Hopefully this actually links correctly for Bow. But they're all in the Discord now. Not sure why the SNS Spear link didn't update. Dude, I don't know. I'll put it on the website in like a day or two and then it will all be fine, but it's just not fine right now for some stupid reason. Like I don't know what's happening right now. I think I'm gonna call it there though. I'm sad that executed is a troll ability. You can run it. Some people actually get good value out of it, but like it is so hard to get good value out of it. I could do Andiv. I haven't done Rug. Oh, I haven't done Schmeck, and I played with him earlier today. Oh wait, he's leaving too. Oh, Sherlock's up. Oh, that's perfect. Because then I can talk to him about build stuff, because we're partially through. Yeah, that's an insta host. Sherlock, this PvE, he's working on the PvE side of the site, I'm working on the PvP side. My favorite Aussie. I saw you had a greatsword hatchet. How do you see all your builds? Only see like 5 pinned on the Discord. I haven't put them all on the Discord yet. I could put greatsword hatchet on there before I sign off for today for you, Chris. Right, peace.